faster to switch to your gun bunny than your own wife.
Stolen valor, right
Sorry
there.
about your fake war.
Did they call a ceasefire?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I remember this.
And then I can hear all the lead paint from the walls just raining down in that hallway, dude. It's cringe for sure.
Yeah.
Dressing up like Revolutionary War fighters and trying to get a discount at Applebee's.
I was like, you guys want a special prize? It's a Zulu anniversary game. They're like, really? And I was like, yeah, you have to come up to the front counter. And they walk right over to the New Windsor PD officer with me. And they're like,
So it is Veterans Day.
Oh, Christ.
Dave, thank you for your service. My wife actually baked us cookies. They're pumpkin spice cookies.
Baked who cookies?
She said she hopes you share, but these are for you. It says, Happy Veterans Day, Dave. Thank you for your service. I know you love to hear it. I didn't put her up to it.
Tell your wife I said.
All of our hot takes of 2024.
yeah, something like that.
We'll say the thing that can't be said.
I don't think we have anything to talk about.
We really do.
All right, guys. So
Hell yeah.
let's just take our Starburst out of the big wrapper now.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm good.
Also, Starburst completely fucked me over because this package only has one candy in it.
You got
No wonder the bag was 50% off.
big candy got you.
Down with big candy.
Yeah. Next, they're going to want you to inject it in your vein.
Nick says, Happy Veterans Day, Dave.
Who?
Nick.
I don't know who Nick is. I don't know any Nicks.
You're
I think he's referring to your employee, Nick.
your employee, Nick.
Yo, he needs to knock it off.
With the thank you for your service.
My God.
What, does he do it every day?
Oh, my God.
Does he do it every I can see that.
It's a bit over the top, Nick.
I can see Nick saying thank you for your service every day.
It's fucking.
I can see it.
That is awesome.
There are so many people.
At least somebody appreciates your service.
There are so many other people that have done way more than I have. Like, leave it alone.
Yeah, believe it or not, Dave's MOS was he was a typist. He was a clerk.
I wish I'd have stayed in for 20 years if that was true.
No, what Dave actually did was he was fighting Somalian pirates.
No, he was a Braille specialist.
Tom says not based.
Yeah.
Tom, you know what's not based? The fact that you're not here right now.
Ooh, get
Oh,
it.
Yeah,
that-
Tom.
Is that Amped Tom?
It's amped Tom.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I will see him this week.
Not bad.
Tom now thinks he's the ambassador of what's based and what's not based, but I am in fact the ambassador. Like this.
He fought against it. Tom fought against being based for a long time.
This XM177 here, very based, very demure.
Okay, so the question is, are we happy with how the audio sounds right now?
What should I charge Jordan for driving him to Shally? Are you stuffing him in the back of the amped trailer?
No, I'm riding bitch seat in the back seat of the truck. So my response to that is, Tom, I will bring you coffee Thursday morning.
Jordan will bring you pumpkin spice coffee with a matching scarf.
No. He knows exactly what coffee I'm talking about.
And a beanie that's like sitting on the crown of your head, like not all the way on, but like,
not with the little fuzzy ball.
yeah, like it's about to fall off, like that.
So is Shally supposed to be like the biggest MSW game of the year?
Hold on. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Zulu 24 Podcast.
Okay.
As always, I'm here with Anthony from Airsoft Studios and Jordan from Zulu Outdoor. I guess we're starting now. Let's talk about Chalet.
And let's also introduce the live studio audience.
That's right. We do have a live studio audience because Anthony wanted to live stream. So there we go.
So that I guess that answers the question of, is everybody happy with the audio?
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
so.
Yep.
Fair enough.
And go.
Okay. Airsoft.
Yeah, we really don't have too much to talk about. Thanks for coming, guys.
We have a lot to talk about. I don't know what that's talking about.
Anthony and I were both casually late.
Okay, you guys are both habitually late. I was telling Anthony, I was like, I can't remember the last time Jordan was on time or early, ever. Like, I can't remember.
Monday through Friday, yes.
Can't remember.
On Saturday and Sunday, on time.
Sure.
I'm still on Rockstar time.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. When's the last time your band played?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They still play. I'm just not in it anymore. That's fine. They did a Halloween gig. I follow the page.
Who's the new lead singer then?
It's Tristan.
Well, who took your
okay.
spot?
Tristan and I were always like kind of fit like Lennon and McCartney, right? Fucking. But we'd take turns singing the song or playing lead guitar. So we would like and that was a really good strategy for us because it allowed us to play like really long sets without getting too fatigued. versus if one of us was singing for 4 hours straight, we wouldn't be able to do it the next night.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're still playing. They did a Halloween gig, and I followed the page, and they all dressed up as Teletubbies, and they collabed with another local musician, and he dressed up as the Sun in Teletubbies, and they did a whole Rage Against the Machine cover set.
So now when they make it freaking big, are you just going to be so jaded and like,
No,
yes, you will.
no,
Yes, you will.
no.
Fix this.
I'd be happy for him. I also know that the first EP and the album, I still get royalties from. So
Oh, nice.
You're banking on that.
I hope they make it big. I really hope they make it big.
All the money and none of the work. All right.
RDX says, "Why are we here, boys?"
Oh, perfect. That thing finally shut off.
Oh, hey, the heat shut off. Perfect.
Yeah, that actually made the audio like exponentially better.
I'm shivering.
Fantastic.
Go get your whoopee.
Okay, so is this Milsom West the biggest MSW event of the year?
So that's how they advertise it. So they advertise the November, December game is always the Super Bowl game. So it's like 600 to 800 players, and they usually do a mount site. Like last time Dave went to one with us, it was Guardian Center. They did Guardian Center like 2 years in a row, and then they went to MUTC. So this is their second year doing it at MUTC. I didn't go last year, but I am going this year.
Do you think MUTC is going to be very fun with the MSW rule set and dynamic, and the launchables that will definitely be there, and the blank fire that will definitely be there?
Okay, yes. So I didn't necessarily enjoy how AMS ran at MUTC, but AMS versus MSW are two completely different formats, so I think it's going to be a better game based off of what I'm seeing already.
Right. I guess my question was like, do you think like the MSW format is more conducive to working well
I hope
at
so.
that type of event?
I hope so.
Because there's just a lot of open range.
Because part of my gripe with MUTC the first time around was big open spaces where we were shooting from one corner of a building to another corner of a building. And it was Airsoft. It was just a big game of Airsoft.
Yeah, and not even necessarily like shooting from one corner to another, but not even necessarily having the range to
Correct.
even hit each other.
Yeah,
like
so-
it was like the Civil War. You could see across the battlefield.
Yeah.
You're like, well, we got to walk out. It's like whoever walked out into the open area first just got mowed down.
Yeah.
You know, once you reached that BB
Like
range.
the fight from those big like yellow brick buildings or tan brick buildings over by the embassy at MUTC across that open field to where like the flood zone is.
Yeah.
That's just not conducive to Airsoft when there's only BBs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Introducing launchables and blank fire should help, but also like in the grand scheme of things, MSW is not like where AMS has capture points around the AO. MSW on its like very primitive level is a push game.
Yeah.
So one, it can also be pulled back by cadre where they can go, hey, we need to let the game play out a little bit more, or hey, we need to cool it a little bit. So in terms of how this game is going to play out, it's basically NATO pushing Rust 4 out of the AO. So it's like phase line by phase line. So it's not going to be just like, let's go on a 35, 40-minute walk over here to maybe find one or two dudes to shoot at. It's not going to be like that.
It'd be heavily choreographed.
Yeah, I hope it's going to be way better. I will say in comparison to the ruck that we had to do in April or May, it's not even close because MUTC is flat. So that ruck is like a quarter mile at most. In comparison to April, it was like a 6-mile ruck. In May, we did like 7 or 8 miles. So
Do you know anything about where you guys are starting and where the push is starting from? Are you guys pushing or are you guys defending?
no, NATO's attacking.
Okay.
Well, because we're live streaming, I don't want to be the dude that dumps all of the MSW information. I don't want to be that guy. I can tell you off air because I have all the stuff, but it's going to be interesting.
Are you allowed to say where you're starting from?
I don't even think they want us to say that because what if I don't know where Rust 4 is starting? I know where NATO is starting.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's the thing with MSW is they're so heavily scripted on the aspect of like this team gets all of their information for their one specific side and they actually have like OPSEC for the other team.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't want to be the dude that, because we're live streaming, dumps all that information onto the web 3 or 4 days before the event.
Thanks, Anthony. If you weren't live streaming, this wouldn't come out until after he was back anyway.
So Jordan, do we have to blur your face for OPSEC?
No, no. I can go put a balaclava on so no one knows who I am. Yeah, it'll be fine.
You could be like the magician that like released all the secrets and he was wearing a mask. And then at the end, he's like, I'm the Valentino or whatever the fuck his name is.
I feel like MSW is going to get to that point. As far as like how hard the players are willing to go, where you're going to have dudes hacking each other to figure out where the starting points are.
So that's already kind of happened. So not in that regard, but like I remember 2017 or 2018, we were at GTI and whoever our NATO like cadre for the entire group came over and was like, shut your fucking Snapchat location off. He's like, because I know you have friends on the other team and they can see your location on Snapchat. And I went, oh, that's a good idea. I should do that.
Yeah.
Because it's happened before where you just open up your Snapchat, like my friends map, and it shows you pinpoint locations to where your friends are on the AO.
It wouldn't be that hard, dude. I mean, it would cost money. You just buy another ticket.
Yeah.
You just buy a ticket for the other team and then get all the emails and join the
so yeah,
we need MSW honey traps. Like you need like a single dude playing MSW. They have to run into like a girl at a coffee shop that's like super into them. They're like, oh my god, I'm in love. They start this whole relationship, and all this girl is doing is getting intel from him for this upcoming MSW
She's
game.
Just psyoping him.
As soon as the game's over, she just dips out.
Well, no, he comes back from the game to go home. Like, honey, I'm home, and all her stuff's gone. She leaves a note. She's like, it was fun, but
they got an apartment together and everything.
Yeah,
that's next
they had
level.
kids together.
That is the true psyop.
Oh shit.
No, but it is going to be cool because now tags are back and launchables are back. I know Amped is doing a huge pre-order for tags, so it's going to be loud. Plus the boss system.
That's right. How many? I know.
I think I'm betting on at least 8.
Yeah.
I haven't heard from Austin at Blue Mag, but he called me like 2 or 3 weeks ago asking for help setting his up. So I have a feeling. Hopefully he has his done because he hasn't talked to me since.
Okay.
So I told him, call me if you need any more help, and he didn't. So I'm assuming he got it set up.
It's not that hard.
No.
Oh, well, if we knew the starting locations, I could get a better idea of like how that game's going to play. But
Anthony, shut the live stream off.
No, I can't. This is good.
Shut the live stream off and I'll
just
explain.
Like bleep it real quick.
So it is Veterans Day.
Oh, Christ.
Dave, thank you for your service. My wife actually baked us cookies. They're pumpkin spice cookies.
Baked who cookies?
She said she hopes you share, but these are for you. It says, Happy Veterans Day, Dave. Thank you for your service. I know you love to hear it. I didn't put her up to it.
Tell your wife I said, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Sleep in the blanket of security, whatever the fuck.
I remember we asked you one time, like, Dave, what do we do if like we're somewhere in public after an Airsoft game and we're in kit and somebody thanks us for our service? What do we say to them? And you told us to say you're welcome.
Yeah,
I feel like you're fucking with us.
No, just go with it, right? Like they don't know any better. It would take so long to sit there because this has happened before. It takes so long to sit there and be like, no, ma'am, actually, like we're just nerds, and also, I mean, that guy's a veteran and that guy's a veteran, but like it just makes them feel awkward because they feel like because usually it's in like a restaurant or something. It makes them feel awkward, and of course, everybody around can hear. So just go with it. You know, you're not trying to get a discount or anything, or like just make them feel better about it. That's all they want. They just want to feel good about it. So just, all right, yeah, you're good, man.
And I'm sure the waiter or waitress doesn't want the long conversation either.
No,
I'm sure they're just like, thank you for your service. I want to get a tip. They're not signing up for.
Oh, sure.
They're not signing up for 15 minutes later. They're still standing there, and you're like, well, so it's like paintball, but it's like,
yeah.
Well, that's what ends up happening.
Yeah,
because like there's so many times it's happened unintentionally. Like one of the funniest ones was for me. We went to Applebee's after a game, an MSW game, Camp Shelby, down in Hadesburg, Mississippi. Now, to be fair, Camp Shelby is a military base. So the like 8 of us that went to this game were like, we've been out here for 40 hours. Let's just go to Applebee's real quick and then we'll go to the hotel. So like some dudes tan t-shirts, multicam pants, some people put on a hoodie, but like for the most part, you're not going to put clean clothes on after an MSW game when you're going to a hotel room to shower and change. And we didn't say a word about it. the waitress comes over at the end and was like, here's your bill. I put the, 10% veterans discount on it. We're like, no, please stop. And we sat there and explained to her for like 15 minutes how she needs to remove it. And she's like, it's too late. I'm not doing it. She's like, so here, sorry about your fake war, but here you go.
Stolen valor. Right
Sorry
there.
about your fake war.
Yeah, it was. Oh my God.
Stolen valor. There it is.
So
You
on
heard
one
it here
hand,
first.
I almost agree with Dave there. It's easier to just be like, yeah.
It is. And like I said, dude, they want to feel good about it. Let them feel good about it. As long as you're not trying to like apply for a VA loan or anything, I don't give a shit, dude. If you're not marching around here going, I was a veteran, and when you're not, I don't give a shit, dude. That's the same thing when like, because I've had people ask me.
My buddy was a Ranger.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I've had, people ask like, how do you feel about people wearing, MARPAT and plate carriers? It's like, I don't care, dude. As long as they're not, even if they're wearing rank insignia, right? Like some people like that stuff. Some teams actually have rank insignia and whatever the fuck. I don't care. As long as they're not walking around going, like, what's up, Devil Doug? Like coming up to me, like trying to be buddy with me and trying to act like they were actually in or did something. Then I don't care. They're out here having fun. This is all fantasy anyway. I don't care what level of airsoft you're playing. This is all I mean, look at this MP5. Actually, this MP5 is pretty good. It's
very nice.
This MP5 is fake. The BBs are real, but they're not bullets. We're not killing anybody out here. This is all fake.
But what if it's an airsoft team that like salutes each other and has promotion ceremonies?
If they salute each other,
yeah,
whatever they're doing internally, that's fine as long as they're not projecting it out and they're not trying to be something that they're not to other people, right? I don't care. Like that's kind of the same as like me or somebody dressed up as like a Revolutionary War guy walking around. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's not doing anything. He's just doing a reenactment. And they were ranked.
You take that wig off. My great grandfather fought in the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, right. Like,
well, I always laugh because I remember in like, this is old airsoft stuff. Like 2014, there was an airsoft team that played around here. I can't remember their name for the life of me, but they did promotion ceremonies and they posted the videos of it publicly on YouTube. They got flamed.
It's cringe for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know that really. They're not, as long as they're not claiming like, the 75th.
No, they weren't. They were just
like what would be a great prank? Dressing up like Revolutionary War fighters and trying to get a discount at Applebee's.
So Daniel Tosh did that skit.
That'd be so
he was like, stolen valor. Yeah.
That's actually really funny.
He sat down. It was great. Yeah, that doesn't bother me. I don't care. I know some people do. The other thing we got to stop doing,
airsofters.
No, veterans. Veterans in the airsoft community need to chill the fuck out. We need to stop looking down on all these kids, right? Because they're just out having a good time playing dress up. And for the most part, if they're dressing up as something you were going to be, whatever the fuck, it's kind of like, it's cool, right? Like they're saluting you in their own way, right? They're like dressing up and trying to be like something you were. That's fucking awesome, dude. That's like, and then the other thing we need to stop doing as a veteran community is, what's the right word? Embellishing your accomplishments to look cool in front of the fake toy gun club, right? There are many jobs in the military. They're all important. You don't need to be in Somalia on a 50 cal. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't need to do that.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah, you don't need to do that. Like, look, we're all out here playing BB Wars. There's no reason to start spewing some bullshit because all the other veterans around you, we know.
Costume is pretty.
We absolutely know. And all it takes is one little slip up and we're on to you. Like, it's very easy.
We've seen it before.
It happened. Yeah. Happened with the other week. So chill out, veterans, chill out.
Yeah.
It's like, was it like 1% of American population even joins the military to begin with or some shit like that? I
think it was something like 1% joins and only like 4% are like technically meeting the requirements.
Sure.
Also, throughout human history, some of the most popular games and sports among men and boys are that which emulate military
or hunting.
Like if you look at like ancient Rome, like all throughout. So what we're doing is just the equivalent of fencing during a time when people in war legitimately fought with sabers. You didn't see them looking at the fucking kids fencing going like, oh, well, I actually,
Yeah.
no, they're just like, you got to fucking get good, son. 'Cause
I
you
did
might get drafted. You know?
It's not even drafting. It's just like some dude may kick down your door.
Yeah. It's good culture. It's good culture because if some shit like that does happen, you want a bunch of young men in the country who like appreciate that culture, appreciate the sacrifices other people have made.
Sure.
And now it's like they're willing to step up. Yeah, they might be a clerk. That might be their MOS, but like still it's going to help inspire people to actually enlist, which is like a huge problem in the country right now. And they're doing all these psyops to try to get people to enlist.
Yeah, not for the Marine Corps.
Some of them are working.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know, man. It's such a slippery slope of like a topic to get onto. That's
Not really. It's not. We make it a slippery slope, but it's really not. It's live and let live, right? So, rule number one, this shit's all fake,
Yeah.
right? And then from there, like as long as nobody's claiming in real life to be anything that they're not, you're good to go, dude. I don't care. Fucking have fun, man.
Yeah.
Fucking have fun. Use the lingo. I don't give a shit, dude.
I blasted 30 dudes from a helicopter with a minigun. And if that ain't real to you, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
It's like arguing that like pro wrestling is real. It's like, yeah,
real
but
for
he
them.
actually fell from that 30-foot ladder. I still rucked up Mount Fuck-ass and
That's true. And you should be proud of that, right?
You know?
Like you should be proud of that. But
it's a dance. It's a fun dance.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
what is real is that you went outside and touched grass and you are better than the majority of the population at that point.
yeah,
You don't need to fucking kill people in real life for what you're doing to be looked at as cool. And people who've done it in real life don't think it's fucking cool.
It's not.
And
cool.
I'm not somebody who's done it in real life. I've spoken to so many people.
Stolen valor.
I've spoken to so many people that have done it in real life. And that is like,
Oh no, I was gonna make a joke. Can we get Anthony a Purple Heart like Brandon Hunter?
Oh
on
no,
Veterans Day.
oh God.
Tony Nubbs. That's right.
Yeah.
he did get wounded.
I did get wounded
He got wounded for airsoft.
for Airsoft. I did. Tony Nubbs.
Well, then you
So-
got to talk to the BB Wars VA though. That's going to take a while.
Yeah. But it's funny that it is like such a sensitive topic. Like we're so afraid of talking on the internet because we're afraid of censorship. We can't even show our toy guns without it getting shadow banned. And I hate to talk about politics, but this is not to say pro or against anything. Here I am walking on eggshells. But did you see the president-elect's announcement as to what he's going to do about censorship on social media?
I saw
Grantham posted about it.
So, not to jump topics, but I think this is just Facebook headline, right? I saw something about concealed carry reciprocity nationwide.
Yeah.
Is that?
That's something he's going to try to implement while he's president.
Well, good luck.
The thing is, the Supreme Court could do it if there's a case.
Sure, but states' rights trump federal rights, so that'd be kind of.
But what about constitutional?
Well,
Sure, it has
amendments.
to be. It has to be deemed unconstitutional.
there's so many
yeah.
layers with those pistol permit rules. Like
'Cause-
right now, there is some form of reciprocity in most states in terms of traveling through the state.
Yeah.
But like you and I and Anthony, we can't go carry in Pennsylvania right now
No.
without going to a Pennsylvania county sheriff, filing for an out-of-state pistol permit license, and then we can carry in Pennsylvania with a New York and Pennsylvania permit. In the same way, if you go to any of the ranges around here, they all offer the Utah class now. And if you take the Utah out-of-state pistol permit class, which is like 4 hours and like $300, you then have reciprocity with like 24 other states.
That's pretty dope.
But then there's some other ones where like we can go to North Carolina right now and conceal carry in North Carolina.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in our area specifically, PA, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Connecticut do not offer out-of-state licenses. So we could never go there and conceal carry. In the same way that, prime example, like JoJo, who lives in Jersey, has a concealed carry in Jersey, he can never come here with his pistol
Yeah.
because he can't get an out-of-state license for New York. But you can travel through those states if you're going to a competition or you're going to another state where you can carry.
And traveling through means you do not stop at Quick Check to get a sandwich?
No, you can. You just have to vacate the state within 24 hours.
Oh,
And
okay.
the pistol and the ammo have to both be stored in a locked container separate from each other, not accessible while driving the car. Because like right now, if we wanted to go to PA and shoot, we can bring our handguns, but we can't conceal carry. So it has to go straight to the range, get locked up when we go to leave, and then come back. In terms of reciprocity, when it comes to concealed carry, that's a lot harder because, I mean, in theory, like, hear me out for a second. If they just made it so that if you have a pistol permit, it's valid in all 50 states, that would be easier than saying, hey, mag restrictions or what you can have restrictions, because that's where things get harder. Because like in PA, you can have 17 round pistol mags and you can have compensators on your gun.
Yeah, but
You
like
can have those in New York.
insofar as like states' rights and federal rights, when it comes to the like, if you look at the Bruin decision, New York clearly had its own law, and there the federal law superseded the state law, saying like, no, now New York has to be a shall issue state,
Not a may issue.
you know, because the Supreme Court can say that what the state is doing is unconstitutional.
Sure, they have to deem that first, though.
Yeah. So it depends, like what actually belongs to the state and what belongs to the federal government as far as like jurisdiction. But
Because even then, like our permits are not valid in New York City.
yeah,
So that's where even like
If-
city's
if
law.
reciprocity gets passed, then that
it'd be
shouldn't be
weird.
an issue.
They'll fight it. I mean, that'll
Yeah.
Yeah. But then as far as the whole censorship thing, so he said he was going to President-elect said he was going to pass an executive order to basically ban censorship on all social media platforms. So
But that's a lot easier said than done.
definitely a lot easier said than done. But like, if that is something that comes to fruition, that means that we would not be shadow banned anymore. Our speech can't be censored the way that, like, when we show toy guns, and that would be great for Airsoft.
You know what's going to
That would be so good for Airsoft.
You know what's going to ruin that, though?
What? Oh,
Yeah.
Right? Like for real, that's just going to ruin it. Like,
not unless the Make America Healthy Again initiative tries to ban.
Yeah, but even then, so like, again, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
This is legitimately one of them. Because then, yeah, sure, there's no, like, quote unquote, he could sign an executive order that says there's no more censorship on social media. How do you enforce that? Because on the other hand, it is a private business. Like Facebook and Instagram and Meta are private businesses. So they still have to, have to click and sign terms and agreement.
yep.
So they still get to restrict what's on their platform because it's their platform. Now, unless, hypothetically speaking, something goes through the Supreme Court where it turns into social media as a public commodity.
Well, the specific verbiage he used is that they can't collude with federal agencies to censor speech.
That is completely different than what you're thinking.
Right.
Because shadow banned and colluding with
Right.
government agencies,
And I understand that.
that is completely different.
But let's say they think they're adhering to some type of federal law by banning whatever or censoring whatever they're trying to censor on social media.
Sure.
You know,
But at the
I'm just
same
hopeful.
time, you
I'm
may see
hopeful.
where things become much more cut and dry. Like YouTube does a pretty good job of being cut and dry with their policies. Like you cannot fire full auto firearms on a YouTube video. That is cut and dry. They say it in their terms and agreement. Same thing with you can't fire more than 30 rounds out of a magazine. It's very clear on what you can and can't do. Instagram and Facebook, no, there is no guidelines on it. It's some posts get taken down. Prime example, look what happened to Admin Airsoft last week.
Yeah.
He posted
That
kit
poor
pics.
guy.
He posted the RDX boss system stuff, and then he posted kit pics, and then his account got deleted.
Now he has Admin Airsoft 3.
Yeah.
I made a post of President-elect talking about that executive order he was going to pass, and I tagged Admin Airsoft 3 in it, and I said, does this mean we'll never get to Admin Airsoft 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like,
I'm waiting for the next sequel of Admin Airsoft.
well,
It's insane that his page has gotten deleted so much. Like I haven't seen Airsoft pages get taken down that quickly.
I don't know, man. So it could boil down to people reporting him too, because we had an issue with that over the summer where someone was just reporting the Zulu Instagram account, and it was getting posts taken down. It was getting a shadow ban. We know exactly who it was,
Yeah.
but
But who'd be competing with Admin Airsoft to do that?
it may not necessarily be who's competing. It may be
Executive Airsoft.
It may be who's not a fan of his content.
Mm.
Because that's
In
what it's
Florida, though?
No, not necessarily because
Oh,
he's
sure.
in Florida. We're talking like Airsoft community wide. Because if you look at his comment section, it's a little violent sometimes.
Sure.
Like the boss videos, excuse me, on his page, it's like a 50-50 split of people going, this thing's dumb. I would never carry that. Or, oh my God, you guys play like speed softers because this dude was finger banging the trigger with his middle finger. And I'm calling you out because you're one of my friends. Don't be that guy on the internet. But either way, there were people in his comments.
Who was it?
It was Bryson Toast.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I thought Toast was being funny. I thought he was
I don't
around.
know, but that's the thing from my perspective. I look and go, all right, it's Toast being Toast. From any other person that goes into the comment section, they're just like, oh, this dude's being a dick for no reason.
Yeah.
But if he's doing it unironically, who's doing it? Or if he's doing it ironically, who's doing it unironically?
Yeah.
That's the problem, is that it may just be someone that's like, I think this is dumb, report, because that's our generation.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But it would be nice. It would be nice if we didn't get shadow banned because of fake toy plastic guns that are shaped in a particular
We're
shape.
doing pretty good right
you
now.
know? Yeah. But
Anthony, how much candy do you want?
I love Starburst, dude.
Oh my
I
God.
got them for 50% off.
Yeah, no wonder why
love
there's only
them.
one in each pack.
but it would be nice. It would be nice to be able to talk about our passion, our sport, our hobby, whatever you want to call it.
Without tiptoeing about what we have to bleep and what we can't say.
Maybe we should just put this all in Pepperbox.
See, I've been saying that for like 3 episodes.
Would they even let us on there? I don't even know if they let us on there.
I mean, we could try.
You ever been to like gun stores that have like an airsoft section? Mm-hmm. That'll be like us on Pepperbox.
Yeah. It would
It'll be
be
like, this is the kids section.
yeah. Well, so on one hand, that could be really, really funny because they do have a big following. I mean, they're about to get me to sign up for Pepperbox because they started another podcast where it's
Josh said bribing Anthony with Starburst for builds. Tom says Constitution is different than federal laws created by Congress. It's a weird hierarchy. And he also said earlier, we've literally run out of storage room for all the pre-orders.
nice.
So the boss unit's pretty popular.
No. He's talking about pre-orders for tags.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. If Tom's saying that, he's talking about pre-orders for tags. It's going to be a wild game.
It has to be.
Yeah, I know already that between the Grommets and the Brit dudes, they bought like $6,000 worth of pyro.
80% of that was Richie.
No, like 30%. Richie, you should go to this game.
Richie, I'm not even going to the game and I'm sad.
But no, what was I going to say? Oh, they started a new podcast that's Pepperbox exclusive.
Yeah.
And it's Fat Electrician, Habitual Line Crosser, and Eli. I want to watch it, so I'm now going to have to subscribe to Pepperbox.
But is that a podcast though?
If it's just the 3 of them and they don't have any
that's
special
right.
guests.
Yeah. What if they're all special guests?
Yeah.
Well, I get confused because they always do like unsubscribe featuring the Fat Electrician. I'm like, he's a host.
You
So
guys
why-
should go on. You guys should vote on the RGK awards, and in every single box for every section, just write Zulu 24 podcast.
Oh,
Because if this isn't a podcast, maybe it's best HPA tech. You know, maybe it's maybe this could be the most anticipated release
Yeah,
of 2024. It's not a podcast though, so don't put it there.
Don't put it there.
but if we actually got to, like, theoretically, Pepperbox, we'd be reaching up and they'd be settling.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be fun, though. They are going to be in Buffalo in like a month. I was going to make a joke and say we should see if they want to come down and play Airsoft for a day because they joke about Airsoft a lot.
We should.
I mean,
I think Buffalo is their last stop on their live tour. It's like December 6th or something.
Hey, we can always try. I imagine they're incredibly busy.
Oh, my God,
But-
yeah. I mean, when you think about it, they say it on their podcast, too. They record 3 or 4 in a day.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they go for an hour and a half to 2 hours, plus the Patreon content, plus the Pepperbox.
Plus, they drink the whole time.
Plus they drink the whole time. So you can tell when it's like, oh, this was the 3rd podcast.
Yeah.
They're just like,
Holy shit.
okay, what are we talking about?
Man. Yeah, Eli gets pretty rough there. He gets start slowing down.
Yeah.
We should drink on the podcast.
Moderation. Moderation.
No. Once a month, we just go hard. Just let it all out. Let the demons out.
That really is the Zulu Patreon content.
Right? Join us on Pepperbox. Dude, speaking of government overreach,
Oh, boy.
Rip to Peanut. Rip to Peanut the squirrel.
Oh, okay. That explains. Okay. That's what you guys were talking about.
Rip to Peanut the squirrel. Can you imagine a world where somebody in Texas makes a phone call to a police station in New York, and then that police station takes it seriously and then puts a SWAT team together, has a morning brief. All right, everybody, welcome. Sit down. Got a good one for you today.
It is a South Park skit.
It is.
We got to get the squirrel. Like you can see the board, right? Their planning board. There's the picture of the squirrel. They're like, he could be armed and dangerous. Okay.
So you know what's? I thought about this last.
He's gotten all of his shots.
There's that like one Steam game that's getting real popular right now called Squirrel with a Gun.
Bro.
It's almost like that this was a foreshadowing to come.
They took it seriously. I can't fathom what possessed the person in Texas to make the phone call. Right? Like, this YouTube channel has an adorable squirrel and raccoon, and I hate that.
People aren't happy unless they're complaining.
I hate that. So then they're going to make up some bullshit that they got bit by the squirrel. So they were in Texas, squirrels in New York. Somehow they got bit by it.
But if they used a VPN, they could have spoofed their phone number to say they were in New York.
Sure, right? Then the person on the other end in New York was like, you know what? There's a lot of crime happening today, but this is the serious one. This is the one I'm going to take seriously.
This is the hill.
A squirrel, you say, and a raccoon?
I'm just seeing the entire.
Rabies.
I'm seeing the entire South Park episode in my head, like the whole plot.
Has South Park done an episode on this yet?
Oh,
just
they
happened.
better.
It just happened.
They better do it.
Yeah. And then the person who took the phone call was just like, "I'm pushing this one straight up, ma'am. Don't you worry. We're gonna take care of this Peanut and his accomplice raccoon. Unfortunately,
Ricky the raccoon.
Ricky, or whatever the fuck.
He gets off the phone. Code red.
There's a button with a big peanut on it, and he just smashes it. And like what's the meme with the FBI like kicking the doors in, coming down through the ceiling and everything? So it gets to that point, right?
No, Peanut knew something about Boeing and Hillary.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to believe both of those.
Yeah.
This is why the live stream's cool. If you see the live stream podcast,
Yeah,
you get to hear the censored stuff.
So then right there, right, the person that took that 911 call or whatever the fuck, like
It had to be a 911 call.
it could have stopped there, right? It could have stopped at this person just not being fucking insane. But then they made the phone call. So then the person was just like, yes, ma'am. Yep. Like anybody else would be like, a raccoon in New York bit you and you're in Texas. Okay, man, we'll get right on that. And then hang up the phone and be like, I don't know, they're crazy. But no, this person again took it seriously.
So do they claim that Peanut bit or that the raccoon bit?
Something. But the geographical difference would suggest otherwise.
Again, devil's advocate, use a VPN, spoof the phone number. You can make it look like it came from New York.
Hey, could have.
Yeah.
Right? But then how would everybody know that the person was in Texas that called? Also,
okay, you're right.
Shame on you. It had to have been Austin. Texas. But so it could have stopped there. Then that person passed it up to their shift
Probably shift supervisor. Yeah.
Right? And then they were like, all right, I just got this call. Sounds pretty serious. Squirrel in New York and a raccoon bit somebody in Texas. We better get on that. And then that person was like, you know what? I'm going to take you seriously. And you know what? We don't just need to send one animal control officer over there. Let's get the SWAT team on this. Yeah. And then they sat down in a briefing room with a whiteboard and they came up with a plan over a fucking squirrel and a raccoon that's on YouTube that's clearly domesticated. Like, what world do we live in?
It's heartbreaking to see the owner crying about it.
They had him outside.
They
for
got
like
a
6
grown
hours.
Look, the bond this man must have had with this squirrel to be crying like that on national television over a squirrel. It's like he lost his fucking kid.
Dude, he wore cute little hats.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
This is American culture as of the last decade, okay? One of the best-selling movies that came out recently is a movie about an assassin who tried to quit and then went on a fucking killing spree because they killed his dog.
Yeah.
We love our pets. We love our animals. That is the we don't eat our animals. We don't fucking auction them off. We don't want to we love our animals. We would have more variety of animals as pets if we could. If we could tame a bear and make it our pet and love him forever and cuddle with him, we would, except they'd kill us, right? So that man, his bond with his squirrel It must have been like Ash and Pikachu. Okay? Imagine watching Pokemon and you think the show's going somewhere, but then the FBI comes in and fucking kills Pikachu and they put down Charmander too. Okay?
Yeah. They're just like, hey, you got a permit for this Pikachu over here? Like, oh yeah, I lost it. Oh, that's unfortunate. I need you to step outside your house for about 6 hours to ignore all the screams that you're going to hear from inside. Okay?
Like these guys make Michael Vick look like a fucking saint.
Right? Like, I can't fathom that nobody in that chain of communication, all the way up to like the guys going in the door, nobody was like, I have a question. Is this a really good use of taxpayer funds right now? It's a fucking squirrel and a raccoon.
They're live streaming their chest cams, right? It's like a whole. It was like them going after the leader of ISIS.
Like,
the amount of like it was just all broadcasted, right?
Nobody was like, wait a minute.
They're all walking in like they're all like they're
lasers.
They're checking every corner. They're checking the ceilings, right? Squirrel runs across. I can't make squirrel noises, but they're just like, oh god,
they're in the trees. I cannot believe that not one person in that chain was just like, guys, this is like, what are we doing?
They're in their armored SWAT vehicle on the way, the way to the target house, right? And they're in there shaking. They're vomiting. They're so nervous for this operation.
It's like the landing craft on D-Day.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, are you kidding me? Like, how have we fallen this far? Like, how have we fallen this far? Like, literally one animal control officer could. If the squirrel, which is native to New York, and raccoon, which are native to New York.
I literally saw a squirrel outside.
Yeah, like if that's really that big a problem, one animal control officer knock on the door, sir, I think you have a squirrel here, whatever the fuck, and then he checks them out, and maybe they confiscate the squirrel and the raccoon, and they test them to make sure they don't have diseases or whatever, like, and then they just come up with a plan, right? Like, hey, man, within, I don't know, did you live in New York City?
I think so.
Okay, so maybe within the 5 boroughs, you can't have a fucking squirrel and a raccoon, and so you need to either relocate them or we're going to euthanize them. At the very least, that gives a guy,
time.
It only costs one state employee or county or city employee 2 hours of his time, and the taxpayers 2 hours of his time. And B, you don't look like a giant wiener head on the freaking internet. You know,
what would be the consequences if you just went and found a wild squirrel just to kill it? Would there be legal? Like,
well, my question is,
because there's like environmental laws about
a hunting license.
Huh?
Did those SWAT officers have a hunting license?
Yeah, it's called their badge.
Yeah, it's called I am the law.
I think squirrels, I think, are unrestricted. You can just kill the hell out of them.
I do have a theory, and I think my theory is the correct one. When Harambe got killed, it
Everyone
fucked up.
thinks this.
It fucked up the timeline.
Yeah,
and then when Peanut got killed, it corrected the timeline.
Yeah, but what about the raccoon? What is the raccoon's name?
Nobody cares about the raccoon.
I know, but he was a victim too.
Yeah,
he's just a bystander. He was probably sitting there eating on some dog food, and they were just like, him too, pow. He's like,
yeah.
Maybe the raccoon framed the squirrel.
I was just about to say that, actually, because why don't we hear about the raccoon? Maybe the raccoon's the one that made the phone call.
This is not what I would have expected.
The call's coming from inside the house.
It's like jealousy. It's like a classic Cain and Abel story. The squirrel's getting all this attention on the internet. The raccoon's like, what about the raccoon's jealous of Peanut?
It was it.
So the raccoon's name?
The raccoon learns a southern accent and impersonates a Texas woman, a female Texan.
Fred the raccoon.
I don't know. I like Fred. I feel like Fred wouldn't do this. Fred would never betray Peanut.
Yeah.
Also, why did Peanut get a peanut name and Fred got like a human name?
Right.
Whatever. I still like Fred.
Maybe Fred can talk.
I can trust Fred.
What was the raccoon's name from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, crap.
Right?
It's like Sprocket or something.
It's Rocket.
Rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, could have gone with Rocket.
That would have been cool.
Poor Fred. Poor Fred was just he was like taking cotton candy and dipping it in the water and just being amazed that it disappeared. You know how raccoons do? And then he's washing his hands, and then the FBI bursts in and he's like, not my business. And they were just like, come here. I'm not part of Peanut's gang. Bow.
Josh says she was a conservation person and called to have it taken to a sanctuary.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
I would love to know how that worked out for
Yeah,
him.
how'd that work out, you stupid?
It's Gav says, did you guys see how the police absolutely destroyed his house looking for the squirrel? Josh said definitely a vegan.
There was a fight in that fucking house, dude.
All I'm saying is
Shitsoft Tom says
look
Fred,
up the game
rocket.
Squirrel with a Gun and how the squirrel does a takedown of the enemies. It's hilarious.
Dude.
You like your little squirrel character will like crawl all the way up the leg of the bad guy, come up to the top, snap his neck, do a backflip off, and then shoot him with a handgun from the bottom. It's hilarious. I want to go play that game now.
There's like 4 officers dead because the squirrel ran up their legs and their buddies were like, just like shooting up. I got a man down.
It's insane. Like,
Oh my god,
it's a bad
my
precedent to be like, hey, we're
So conservation officer, right? So what the fuck was she doing with her time? Well, she was on the internet. That's what she was doing.
It was a TikTok.
So does she go to every cute animal video and she's just like, "You're next," you know, like
If that's her hill to die on, sure.
over a squirrel? Was this a special squirrel or was it just like
No,
a
it
regular
was a squirrel.
Do you know what? Do you know what she said to the squirrel? She said, "I'm the government and I'm here to help.
yeah.
We're gonna help you, Peanut. You need to be taken to a conservation."
Because squirrels are endangered. Why? Okay.
Okay, one,
There's-
squirrels are not endangered.
No,
Two,
not at
if
all.
you watch any of the videos of Peanut, he looked like a very happy squirrel. He
So
was
happy.
enjoying life.
What if they like put him in his cage at night and he just sat there and shivered because he was just like,
He was just having flashbacks.
yeah, he's like, I don't want hats. No more hats. like maybe she's the right one in all of this. And
Right.
we're just shitting on her for fucking.
Yeah, maybe it was Mercy.
I don't know. Did Harambe deserve to die?
That's still debatable, but
Well,
my kid would never be in the gorilla exhibit.
yeah, and I think with Harambe, we would have had to have let like 4 more minutes go by, and then make that judgment.
Yeah.
In which case, either the kid is in half, or Harambe's cradling him like this. We'll never know. We like to think that he's cradling.
We like to think that.
9 times out of 10, when people think they're having a Disney moment with wild animals, they get fucking slaughtered.
Who's the guy? So in like the 80s or something, there's a video of this. There was a guy who was a bear trainer. And of course, if you're going to be a bear trainer for Hollywood, you're not going to train black bears. You're going to get the biggest Kodiak bears and grizzly bears. So this massive, like 1,200 pound grizzly bear. He's like, that's like his buddy. He's just like, what's up, guy? Like patting his head. The bear's head's like this fucking big. And his buddy came over and was just like, oh, this is a cool bear, man. He's like, oh, this is Jingles the bear, whatever the fuck the name was. It'd be a great picture, a great like photo op, is if you get a bear hug from a bear, you know? And he's like, that would be cool. It's the first time this guy's ever seen this bear, whatever, okay? So he's like, hits the bear to make him stand up and
God.
the
fact that red flag.
Yeah, right.
You have to hit the bear to
This
make him
is-
stand up.
This is all on video, like grainy 1990s video or whatever. And he gets up and he's just like, and you can tell the friend is like, because once the bear stands up, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, this bear's like 10 feet tall.
All right. And so he's like slowly going, and he's like, be slow. And he's like, wait. If this bear was like super trained, you'd be like, yeah, get up there, give him a hug. And he's like, okay, go slow with your hands out, go slow.
Don't make direct eye contact.
He's like, don't breathe in its face. Dude, they hug, and then the bear like grabs him by the neck,
Oh, no.
shakes his head once, lets him go. Guy's dead.
Yeah.
They were in contact with each other for 0.07 seconds. Guy was dead.
The only people on this planet that can make a true truce with bears are Russians. The only time there's so many videos from Russia of people being like friendly with bears.
Yep.
They're like, oh, this is the family bear. We live in the middle of the wilderness. He comes by every once in a while. They get belly rubs. Like, and they're saying it in Russian.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's wild. When I went to Tennessee for our little like Marine Corps gathering, and there are black bears are like pigeons in Tennessee, that part of Tennessee. Every single night. We were on this resort that was like on the top of a mountain. It probably doesn't even exist anymore after those storms. There were bears every single night, like to the point where if you had to go to the car at night, you needed somebody to stand on the porch to be your spotter, because they were that prevalent. They were everywhere, dude. And yeah, they look all cute and cuddly, man. But there was a big male that came out because they would check all the trash cans for all the like resort.
And were the trash cans like in in cages.
Oh
like,
yeah, they were in cages. And but he would check systematically every single one. But the one was right next to our car. And the night before we were going to leave, because we were going to get up real early and leave early, I was loading everything up, and I had to have my buddy like up there. And a big old male came out, and I was like, wow. Even just a black bear. Black bears being the smallerish of bears.
Were you carrying?
No, because I was traveling through states, and I didn't take the time to like read up on anything. I'm sure in Tennessee's probably constitutional, but
I can look it up.
Yeah.
The best reference you have is the USCCA website. They literally give you a map. You can just click on what state you're going to.
Here at T-Rex Arms.
yeah. But either way, I'll be honest with you, my 9mm wouldn't do shit to that thing,
No.
dude.
Yo, Tom says, and the Polish, they had a trained artillery bear in World War II.
I will say, I did.
So the Marines had in the Korean War, we had a horse that ran like artillery shells up and down a hill.
I saw a video from Fat Electrician about a duck, right? Was it a duck, Jordan?
I know what you're talking about.
He's done a lot of animal videos. He's done one about,
I feel like it's always the Marines that have
Yeah.
well,
fucking
like
animals.
the Marines had Sergeant Reckless.
That was the horse.
That was the
That
horse.
was the horse.
The duck, I think that was also the Marines.
I think it was too.
I think that was also the Marines.
Oh, was it a chicken?
It might have been a chicken. Hold on, I'll look that up too.
Because didn't he have like a confirmed kill on Okinawa or something?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
He like fought another chicken. He got a citation or
Yes,
something.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
This is why we love animals. This is why you don't call animal control, well, the SWAT team
Yeah.
to go after a freaking squirrel. God, I wish everybody would
to
just...
Yeah, you don't fuck
backtrack real quick. In Tennessee, it is permitless carry for New York residents as long as you're 18 years old.
Bang, bang, bang. Carry or conceal?
It says permitless carry. So I'm going to assume that's concealed carry because this is
Usually they're pretty specific about concealed.
from the USCCA. So I'm assuming when they say that because Alaska, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Kansas, all of these states, permitless carry as long as you're 18.
If they catch
And
you
have a New
carrying,
York-
are you actually concealed carrying?
Well, there's a difference, right? Carrying, it's just on a holster on your hip.
I would never open carry.
No,
Well,
it's dumb.
but some of the constitutional carry states are that,
Yeah.
right?
You
Like
can't conceal carry.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like once you start concealing, then that's different. But I don't know. It's different. They're making the gun laws just like tax laws, like purposely ambiguous, so that you can be tripped up at any point. That's what they do in New York anyway.
Yeah.
The duck. Let's see. So there was the
Justice for Peanut and Fred
Yeah.
and Fred. Maybe I'll make some Zulu merch.
Oh, that'd be funny. Oh, that'd be really funny. I can't find. Okay, so Sergeant Reckless was the horse.
Yeah,
Let's see.
The chicken. It's the
I think it was a duck. It might have been a duck
Get the chicken, Jordan. Get the chicken.
or a goose. Nah, it was a duck. I think it was a duck.
So the British used chicken-powered nuclear landmines, bat bombs. Let's see. What else?
Man, who cares?
Yeah.
Let's talk about footwear real. I know this is a weird. It's on my mind because I've been wearing those zero shoes, the little floppy shoes that like, oh, it's good for your back and all this stuff, which they are. I had knee pain, and mostly because I'm old, knee pain and hip pain and back pain.
Oh, duck.
Like, it was a duck.
It was a duck.
It was a Marine Corps duck.
Quack bang out.
Yeah. So I've been wearing those for about 6 months now. And through the course of wearing them, like knee pain, back pain, all that stuff.
What? What?
Josh said, once you open carry, you automatically spawn in a Punisher t-shirt.
Oh, well, there's an open carry starter pack. It's the Punisher logo T-shirt, the Save Some for the Rest of Us stickers pack that usually goes on the back of your Dodge Ram. Like, there's a whole starter pack to open carry.
There's the You're Not About That Life, bro.
The Condor, like, 24-hour bag that has the Y strap on it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So anyways.
You're not that guy.
So anyways, right? So I've been wearing those zero shoes. And I don't know what, dude, they're great.
I love mine.
They're great. Until you're walking through the parking lot and you step on a fucking rock.
Or BB.
BBs are fine. The rock, dude. So it happened one time, like a couple months ago. My heel right on a fucking rock, dude. And that shit'll make you see Jesus. And you're like, wow, that fucking hurt. But then you walk and you're fine. And then, but it was like 2 hours later in the same spot, I hit another rock. It's like, fuck, man. It's just beating the shit out of my heel, dude. It got to the point yesterday when I got home. I ordered some Vans. I was like, fuck this, dude. I was like, I'm done. Like, my heels are so beat up. And I know somebody's going to be like, you're not supposed to walk with your heels.
Which Vans did you get?
Bob's going to be so disappointed.
I just got the black high top Vans or whatever.
You know what's funny? I just got Vans too. And I was like, honey, can you just order me some Vans size 9? She's like, all right, what do you want? And jokingly, I was like, I want the same Vans that the Navy SEALs wear. And she fucking got them.
Hell yeah.
They're like the black high tops.
Yeah. So I got those. But today I'm wearing my old Solomons, which I haven't worn in 6-8 months.
How's that feel?
It feels like putting 2 cinder blocks on my feet.
So that's kind of the predicament I've been in.
Holy
because
shit.
I'm wearing my Zero shoes right now. I've been wearing them since like, when did you get me on this? Like June?
I can't remember. It was a while ago.
Yeah, like June. Do I wear these for MSW this weekend?
I wore mine for all of AMS.
Yeah.
And that was entirely mount site, and I had no issues.
Okay. So like in my head, I'm sitting here going like, am I going to wear these? Do I pack an extra pair of, I wear oboes. Do I pack those in my ruck?
You should.
Well, you've played at
you
MUTC, so you know the terrain.
Yeah,
I do know the terrain.
Remember when you almost broke your ankle in the first like 10 minutes of the game?
Yeah, nah, fuck that garbage pile. That's the only hill at MUTC, that garbage pile. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. And imagine having to do that with nods. Fucking absolutely not. Somebody's going to get impaled over there.
Your fucking squad's going to be like that's going to be where you're at for a whole night. It's just that rubble pile. You're like, all right, guard our right flank. But yeah, they literally feel like putting on 2 cinder blocks.
Super Milsim gets impaled by the rebar pile.
Yeah. So you forget how light those shoes really are.
Oh, yeah.
They're like putting on socks with some soles, and how ridiculous Solomons are. They're blocks. They're blocks. It's crazy.
They're comfortable blocks.
They are. They're comfortable.
They're comfy.
But I feel like my feet are 17 inches wider and longer. Like I feel like I'm walking with like flippers almost. Like they're so big, they're so heavy, and you'd never be like, oh, my shoes are heavy. But I notice it now, and now I can't unnotice it.
And you
I'm
guys
like,
made fun of me for toe shoes for years.
fuck, toe shoes are
They're the same thing.
toe shoes. But yeah, man. So now I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, do I get another pair? Dude, when you get that rock right in the center of your heel,
Oh, yeah.
I can never get down with toe shoes,
It's the same thing as the Zero shoes. It's the exact same concept.
except the Zero shoes don't have individual
pockets for your toes.
Yeah.
but they have a wide toe box, so your foot's allowed to like splay out.
Yeah.
So you can feel like your balance is better, like all this shit, because your foot is actually doing the job it was supposed to. It's not restricted by a super thick sole or anything. That part's great, like your balance, and you can actually feel the ground.
Mm-hmm.
There could be an argument made that you can walk quieter. I don't know, but
I don't know about that, but I do know that
Yeah.
like on a hot summer day, we were standing on like the AstroTurf or the concrete, and I'd look at you and be like, I can feel the heat through my feet.
yeah.
I once played in foam sandals in my man jams. That was a good time.
It's probably about the same.
It was comfortable, but they slid off my foot a lot. And
Well, no ankle support.
when I was done, I just had a bunch of tall grass like underneath my feet in the sandals.
Yeah. Well, so that's the one downside to the toe shoes is like tall grass, like you get grass stuck between your toes, and that feels real weird.
That's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
Some people are into that.
You don't want the toe shoe socks that go with it?
No, I eat red meat.
I eat red meat.
I'm not a vegan.
Amp Tom says, so I was wearing the Zero shoes this weekend for a shoot. Great when moving during the day. The second the temp drops at night, you'll need to change shoes. No insulation. But what if you wear merino wool socks?
What if you have good circulation? Tom, you might want to get that looked at.
I also
got him.
Tom is also a zero shoe enthusiast.
Yeah, he's got them too.
Yeah.
They're great. I'm just fed up of going home every weekend with like bruised bones in my heels
That's
because
not a problem I've really run into.
Well, you probably walk different than I do, but I'm basically a
Potentially.
big bumbling dinosaur, like stumbling through the woods. But I'm doing like a half measure, right? So I had a pair of Vans a while ago, and they were fantastic. But they're the same concept. Like Vans are the same concept, right? So there's no the heel and the ball of your foot and the heel of your foot are on the same plane. There's no elevation change, right? And that's kind of why Zero shoes are touted as being so good for your back and everything, is because your heel, there's no rise in the heel.
Correct.
Vans are kind of the same way, except they're really comfortable.
And a little bit thicker.
And based.
I got the canvas ones, so we'll see.
Vans are based.
The only problem, well, they look cool, which is great. The only problem is, like now that I've been wearing the Zero shoes, right? Mm-hmm. Again, your feet are able to like splay out. So now my feet are probably a little wider. And Vans tend to run narrow anyway. So I got the wide versions, but even the wide versions can still be.
Well, that's why I can't wear Solomon's. My feet are too wide for Solomon's.
In regards to Tom's blood circulation, he says my cold heart probably doesn't help.
Oh, yeah, no, probably not. It's like 11 a.m. on a Monday. Shouldn't you be doing stuff at Amped?
Yeah, right. Aren't you like the vice president or something?
Yeah, but
Veterans Day.
Thank me for my service, Tom. Thank me.
Thank him for his service to the Airsoft community.
Yeah.
Stolen valor.
Thank Jordan for his service for the podcasting Airsoft community, even though this isn't a podcast.
Yeah, well, no. Not a podcast. This is a podcast now. We don't have a special guest.
That's right.
Yeah.
What do you mean? We have that guy.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I forgot about that guy.
Right.
What's his name? It can't be Fred.
Winston.
Winston?
Winston.
Yeah. Winston is based.
He's always watching our backs. Because he's behind us.
With that Cry Precision t-shirt.
Good for him.
Are you anticipating anything cool this winter for the field, or when it starts getting really cold? Are you expecting like same old song and dance? Do you have any cool plans?
Zulu anniversary game.
Yeah, we got the anniversary in January. It's probably gonna be just right around that same weekend. Hopefully with La Nina, we get a little no snow this year.
We say that every year.
Fucking great. Last year was fantastic.
We say that every year.
Some would say the best.
But the thing is, there's a group of dudes that look forward to the snow.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, I like throwing on the snow camo thing on top of my kit and getting my gun taped up with white tape and stuff.
I think everybody likes the idea of snow until you actually. It depends on the amount of snow.
It's fun.
I'll tell you. Okay, so peak snow airsoft is this. There's 1 to 2 inches on the ground, max. And then as you're playing the game, it starts snowing, right? But it's like, I had an experience a long time ago. Actually, it was here a long time ago where we started the game middle of winter, and like this little snow squall came through and created like a whiteout condition. So halfway through the game, all of a sudden it was like whiteout. That was really cool, man. Like, because all of a sudden visibility went down to like 4 or 5 feet. And now you're like clearing stuff out. It was actually a lot of fun. And then it passed and it was great. And, again, I think it was like 2 or 3 inches of snow on the ground. So it was fine. But once you get up to like 12, 15 inches of snow.
Then I get to take my snowshoes out.
Yeah, but it's just not fun, man. It's just not fun.
It's fun for about an hour.
When I was reffing, and there was like a slow winter day, and there was maybe like 12 players max, right?
Yeah.
So you had like 6v6 at like the mosque, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was just always like eerie, because it's quiet.
Yeah.
And people are just looking for each other.
Yeah.
So it's like
crunch.
There's
crunch.
Now
there's like an eeriness to it.
12 of those players have boss systems.
But I remembered when I would ref those games, I had the megaphone on me, and I'd take my phone, I'd play like old songs from like Fallout, and I would play it through the megaphone, and it just sounded like even more eerie. It was cool.
That Silent Hill.
Yeah.
I do remember, oh man, this had to be winter of 2022. It was the first winter that we had the shop. I borrowed Tyler Erico's snowshoes. And we went and played a ShamWow helicopter with like 8 inches of snow on the ground. But because I had snowshoes, I could run across the top. I made it there before anyone else. And all the dudes on the other team were just like, what the fuck? How is he already up there? And I thought it was the coolest thing. I was like, I can run forever until you get in the helicopter and like then you get your snowshoes stuck between the barrels and the wood beams. And I'm like, there's a video of this, me like, I couldn't get my foot unjammed. And I'm like, Sean, move the barrel. Sean, move the barrel. I can't stand.
Can we talk about SNT's new teased releases?
What is this?
SNT's putting out an Airsoft SKS.
An SVT 40.
Yeah.
And what was the third one?
An SVT, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're putting out some like OG guns, and then there were some other guns that weren't. I think they're still in the earlier phase of development, but they're making an AN-94.
They are, but it's just going to be like the Cyma
Yeah.
Saiga 12, where it looks like a Saiga 12, but it's an AK internally. It has one barrel.
Still.
But no, what was the third one? It was an SVT 40, an SKS, and there was a third one on that list because they had like the prototype photos all associated to it. I forgot what the third one was.
I only know of these guns because of Tarkov.
I know of them because of Call of Duty.
I want an Airsoft SKS.
It's cool.
Is it gas blowback?
No,
I'm gonna
it's
do-
be an AG.
All right.
I'm going to do my freedom-loving Canadian loadout.
Also, there's 50-50 there because S&T also makes all of the World War I, World War II spring bolt actions.
Yeah.
So there's a small chance that they could be springers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be kind of lame.
Well, the AVT is semi-auto.
Yeah, the SVT is.
Or the SVT.
It's semi-auto. It was the Russian World War II semi-auto rifle.
Yeah. But there was
Yeah.
two of those. I think there was another one called the AVT.
Maybe.
One was automatic. One had full auto.
I believe that.
Yeah.
And then the SKS, we all know that. That's just a semi-automatic rifle chambered in 7.62 by 39.
Yeah. There's some cool modifications. You can get like larger magazines for that and everything. It's pretty cool.
I would really like to see. It's good that there's more World War II guns. I would love to do another World War II game.
Well, that's a hot topic.
We need higher quality
Yeah, it's like
World War II guns.
before, it was like, okay. I think the loose uniform requirements are okay because who's going to get a vintage?
You don't need vintage, but there's
You know.
so much repro out there for that.
Yeah,
World War II is actually a huge market.
yeah.
The problem is that people feel certain ways about certain for certain teams.
Right, and like uniform requirements kind of fix that. But as far as the guns are concerned, most World War II airsoft guns honestly suck.
Oh yeah,
Like and then you run into the way you have to run the game is like, okay, you can use any World War II era gun, even if it's not for your faction because you found it.
yeah, sure.
And then you have everybody with like a Thompson because that's kind of the best one you can get.
Yeah, right.
That'll work well out of the box. Here we go.
What is it? What's the MOA? Because somebody left a comment. They were like, "Are you going to talk about the MOA?"
Oh, it's like SHOT Show for airsoft. but in Taiwan.
FG42, SKS, and SVT40.
Oh, the
The
FG42.
Yeah,
huh?
there it is.
Yeah, and then they tease some other things. I don't know what MOA is.
It's like SHOT Show for airsoft, but in Taiwan.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because
Gotcha.
somebody left a comment on
Yeah,
one
I
of the
saw
shorts
that.
or something, and so I looked into it briefly, and I was like, "Holy shit!" There's like,
Yeah, like Airsoftology is probably there. Red Wolf is usually there.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of like the YouTubers from the United States going over there because it's like I think it's only like 3 or 4 days long.
it's in Taiwan.
Yeah.
You guys could go to Taiwan before you have to go to Taiwan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think we have to go to Taiwan anymore.
Yeah, Dylan had this like litany of questions that he was asking prior to that Tuesday, and I was like, Dylan, how about you ask me in another 3 or 4
Yeah,
days,
right.
and I'll see what my answers are. I looked at him, I was like, nah, all of those, don't
Yeah.
need to worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about
You're
it.
fine.
I would gladly accept more World War II guns. for,
Well,
like,
the whole
tech
thing
work.
with the Thompson too, it's because from a Zulu rule set, it's one of the only ones that's practical to buy to use anytime
Yeah.
because the Sten, the grease gun,
Yeah, they're all full auto.
they're full auto only. The MP40, like the AGM or D-Boys MP40, does have a semi, but it shouldn't. But they did make one in there. It's like
Yeah.
a literal little switch underneath. But most players aren't going to buy a grease gun or a Sten because they can only use it for that game.
Yeah,
And they're never going to be able to use it for open play.
and I imagine they're not inexpensive. Either.
The Cyma D-Boys like Sten or grease gun is only like $180.
not.
But they also shoot like dog shit.
Sure. I think it would be super cool, man. I actually, so if you've ever come to any of the Zulu World War II games, they're just fucking fun. Everybody's chill. Like everybody, like
I remember the last one we did.
they act out their own deaths and stuff, and that's not even like part of the rule set because everybody just likes seeing their helmet like roll across the ground.
We need World War II game with Boss Unit.
No,
Put a Boss
well,
Unit on my M1 Garand.
No, but
No, but you could have staff walking around using it to simulate it.
sure, or
Yeah.
some other things.
Other things.
Anyway, I think it would be really cool. You would lose money hand over fist doing this. You get Guardian Center, or it doesn't even have to be any mount facility, and then just do a freaking 200 on 200 World War II be strict with the uniform requirements and everything, gun requirements, everything, and just have a 2-day event, man.
So
Call
on
it Carentan or whatever.
On one hand, I was going to immediately jump to, do it at Panthera. I don't know if Panthera is cool enough to attract that.
It's got to be Mount Site, right? Because all the guns suck.
Yeah.
So you need to kind of close in the distance a little bit.
Even like GTI, though.
I hate GTI.
I know,
I'm
but it could
sorry.
be fun for a
No
World War
way.
II game.
I think Zulu's
It
actually
would be good for a 1 day, like, okay, the Allies are pushing and they're going to take over this
Factory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. Like something like that. But I'm thinking like 2 days long, man, like everybody gets into it. You know, I'm sure there's some people out there with half tracks and Sherman tanks. Like you can make it.
Oh, yeah.
P-51s,
Well,
flying over.
I think that's something that's.
Do you know who has
missing
World
from-
War II era tanks and planes?
Jono and Jono.
Jono and Jono. Should
All
do
right. We'll do it in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I think part of it is the crowd we could advertise that to would be the World War II reenactors. Because every now and then this pops up in my YouTube Shorts feed.
Yeah.
Dudes that do like hardcore World War II reenactments where it's like MSW, blank fire only.
Yeah, they only do blank fire.
But they wear like contours. Like I've seen it where they put like contour cameras on the side of their World War II helmets. So there's some wild clips of like dudes in trenches with blank fire M1 Garand just firing over the top. They get the ping, fucking slap a new clip in. Fucking German half track drives by. I'm like, this looks awesome. Now give them airsoft guns.
Yeah, or even have a good 50-50 mix. But
Yeah,
I think it'd be so cool. I'm sure they do this in Europe. But there's a huge World War II community in America. They're just spread out.
Yeah.
Like they're just so spread out.
Start advertising 2 years in advance so everyone has time to put their time, or everyone has the allotted time to put in time off and plan their flights and get their shit together.
Make it a week long.
I think the best way to plan a game
forget.
like that is to plan the game with the player base instead of saying like, hey, it's happening here, be there, be square.
Yeah.
Be like, all right, we're calling on every World War II airsofter in the U.S. Put your availabilities here. Once you do a vote when we can have the game.
Ugh, that would be so.
It'd be a good experiment
chaotic.
to see if games can
Because
get organized like that.
Crowd organized. It's not even crowd funded. Well, it is crowd funded, but it'd be like crowd organized. Oh God,
It'd be a good experiment.
it'd be interesting.
I have theories about it, but I think it'd be cool too to like go out west. Actually, in
Literally.
Indiana, where we stayed for METC, that tiny little.
Oh, rent out an entire town?
Yeah.
We've talked about that.
Dude,
Oh.
you can't go inside anybody's house or anything, but you like fight through the streets.
Yeah.
Oh,
But would that quickly devolve into the same airsofty bullshit we had a problem with at MUTC, where it was just on the outside of buildings, shooting from one building to the other?
not in the little town. I wouldn't even call it a town. It was like
A speed bump.
a village. I don't even know. Like there was like two, but it was weird. It was a town that was built because there's a Nike missile silo like 3 miles down the road, and we're in the middle of nowhere in Indiana. There's nothing around. Cornfields, farms, whatever.
Yeah, like 30-minute drive in either direction just to get to the next town.
Yeah. And this thing, it was like, it was a purposely built town for the people that worked at that Nike missile silo. So it had all the amenities of a town. It was just shrunk down. Everything was shrunk down. So it had a high school, middle school, elementary school, doctor's office, church, with auto body garage or whatever.
Post office.
But everything was within like
A 2-minute walk.
yeah, like you're probably
You don't
talking.
even need school buses. You just walk to school.
Everybody could walk to school.
Yeah.
And like where
4
the
kids
town
could go
ended, the town ended.
Yeah.
Like that was the last building and it was just like wasteland afterwards. It was crazy.
I mean, that other town that we went to Sunday for dinner, where we like showed up that like dive bar, and we just looked around. We were like, where are all the people? Like,
Oh yeah, there's nobody out
it
there.
was like a college town, but you looked around. There was like
Oh, that's right. It was
Yeah,
like,
like
it was like
fucking
zombie
tumbleweed.
apocalypse.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
a Sunday
nobody
at like
there.
4 or 5 o'clock. A college town, like not a small town.
No.
Tumbleweeds.
It was
No cars on the street. No people. There was like 6 people in this bar, and we're like, "What is going on here?" You would expect people to be out and about, and one person's like, "Oh, well, there was a tornado warning an hour away, so like a lot of people are probably home alone, like inside." I'm like,
it was crazy.
"What is going on here?"
But you contact that municipality and just be like, hey, this is what we do. Is it even a possibility? It would just take a lot of money. And you'd have to set aside money for damages because airsofters are stupid and they kick fences down or whatever the fuck.
Well, there might be an easier way to do it. So like you're like thinking on that like small like an active town. So
Yeah.
I follow a bunch of photography pages, and this is always the pipe dream idea, where like every now and then they're like, check out this drone footage I have from this abandoned town in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but those freak me out because there's a reason why they're abandoned.
Yeah, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But it would be a lot easier to get something like that where you go in and you're like, okay, who owns this entire property this town's on?
Yeah.
Because every house is abandoned. There's no one lives there. Population fucking zero.
Yeah.
Rent that out for 2 days.
But that doesn't have the same
vibe.
As a town that's lived in, right? And I know it's in it, try to convince, but this town was small enough that you could have a town hall meeting and like 80% of the people would be in the room.
Yeah.
And you just be like, hey, look, this is what we do. You wouldn't have to change your life at all. You just might hear some loud noises at night. There might be some people running through your yard. Your car might get shot. Like there'd be a ton of like extra damage or whatever. But
what's the?
I'm getting blinded right
now. I'm sorry. Skylights. What's the? Oh, it's like the Delta Force final mission down in North Carolina where they have the entire town involved in it.
Oh, Robin Sage. No,
Sage.
That's Special Forces.
Yes, that's Delta.
No, that's Green Berets.
Oh, Green Berets. Yep, I'm totally wrong there. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be like that. You just have to get the whole town on board.
Sure, that town has been doing that for like 50 years, but and they're not shooting projectiles.
No.
We should do a game in Chernobyl.
Good luck.
So that circles back to a conversation I had Saturday night with Dylan and Dan. Dylan and I were explaining to Dan the Camp LaGuardia games.
Those are fun.
Those were really fun, but then Dylan said something that it never clicked with me. I don't know if it did with you. When we watched that footage back, he's like, this looks like a Tarkov map.
It does. For real, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And that place is great. Sean still goes by there every once in a while.
What do we got to do to get that? I feel like we have this conversation a lot.
So Sean said it's probably not worth it anymore because they took down a bunch of buildings.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah. I mean, it's just been sitting there rotting away for years and years.
Such a good AO.
That place was amazing. Like, so both times I went were just with John Liu, or Lions Claw Games.
He was the only one that ever ran a game there.
Yeah, and there was just lead paint peeling off the walls.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy, so right when tag grenades first came out, they had the R2B, right?
Yep.
And nobody knew what they were and whatever the fuck. So there was a guy that went with us for this event, and the sun was coming down. We were getting ready for the night portion, which never happened. But there was like enemy players in the hallway, and he took one of those RTBs and threw it down that hallway, man.
Oh, no.
And that fucking thing.
Oh, no.
Dude, it was like dusk. So I'm looking at that hallway because I'm waiting for them to see the grenade come down the hallway and start flooding in through the door, right?
Yeah.
To get out of the hallway and also, but they never did. They just sat there and ate it.
Oh my God, I remember this. Didn't they call a ceasefire?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I remember this.
It lit up that whole hallway. Like it was just bright flash for that whole hallway. And I hear everybody inside go, oh, and then I can hear all the lead paint from the walls just raining down in that hallway, dude.
So
and
I was
like,
in the parking lot.
Shit.
This was the second one.
Maybe I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I was in the parking lot, and they immediately called a whole big ceasefire across the AO.
They did.
And my friend Julie and I are looking at each other, and we're like, what was that fucking bang? Because we could hear it from the parking lot.
Oh, dude.
And we're like, what just happened? And some tan dude comes walking by like 10 minutes later. He's like, this is bullshit. Some fucking asshole threw a real flashbang.
No.
And I'm like, what?
No. Well, nobody knew what they were. I mean, we knew what they were because this guy had them.
Yeah, we had him too
Well,
at the time because
yeah.
I remember we had thrown him at we threw him at HVA to test him.
Yeah.
And Mitch, the owner of HVA at the time, looked and was like, these are fucking cool. No, you're not throwing these here.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
But I was dying because of how it was like this surreal experience because it just lit up that whole hallway. Like in my head, it's almost like I could see their shadows like in the mist or whatever. And then you could just hear all the lead paint just coming down off the walls and raining down on top of them. And somebody in the hallway was just like, what the fuck? Who fucking threw that? Came in, and I was just laughing. I was like, it wasn't me, brother. Like, fucking throw that. Holy shit, man. Good times.
Any word on those tourniquets?
Yes. Soon TM.
Yeah.
Yeah. Soon TM. There was some redesign stuff. Soon TM. Just kind of going back and forth with the logo. Just trivial stuff. I wanted it to say Zulu on there because whatever reason. Soon TM.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely within the next couple months. But
We need to have ad slots in the podcast.
so that we have time to get up and go take a piss.
No, we need like ad slots. And if we don't have legitimate ads to put in, we should make meme ads.
Yeah.
Well, so that was an idea I had at one point where putting like some prime example, like the Zulu anniversary game. So if we're doing a podcast come like mid to late December, we film a short 60, 90 second time slot in between when Dave's like, hey, I got to go, use the bathroom real quick. Instead of it just cutting to that and then cutting to, oh, hey, we're back, do the 60, 90 second ad slot of, hey, by the way, Zulu anniversary game's coming up. It's on this date, be here, be square, whole nine. And you can do that at different points. I mean, Unsubscribe does it too. Sean Ryan does it. They do random ad slots in the middle.
We should let viewers submit
Fake ads?
Or, a fake ad would be funny.
Or ad ideas.
Or even just like a video.
We tried this.
I don't think we tried it. I think
Tried this with the Zulu monthly updates.
Zulu 24 clips?
yeah, well, that's what the monthly update. But I mean, for the podcast, like, I think if somebody has like any cool footage.
The other problem there too is for the audio listeners, because we do still get 200 to 400 views per month per episode.
Let's do this. Fuck that, right? Let's do this. All right. Anybody listening right now, including with the live stream, if you have make a fake ad about anything. I don't care.
Funny.
Just anything. It could be about paper clips. I don't give a shit. Just fake ad, and we'll just throw it in.
Yeah.
Well, it can't be like crazy.
It can't be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be kind of on brand.
Butt
It
plugs
has to
and
be-
dildos
yeah.
and shit.
But like, there's still 200 to 400 people per episode that listen on Spotify and Apple.
Do it. Send them over to Zulu24clips@gmail.com.
Yep.
Send them over there, and we'll do fake ad. We'll do. Also, if you want to do, instead of just doing a video, do a fake ad read, and then we'll read the ad. Be like, and our first sponsor is.
I think that's great. That is super funny when companies do that.
We should do it blind.
Like, don't read it going into it.
Yes.
Oh.
And then reach into it and just pull out and be like, dude, that's a great bit.
So one of it is very funny.
Oh my God. It could get real bad.
It could.
But that's where editing comes in. But like, and then so anybody on the live stream can hear the actual read. This is great. All right. If you have an ad read, send it Zulu24clips@gmail.com. We got to figure out
sponsored by Rage.
Yeah. We have to figure out a way that we can we have to have somebody else receive the email and print them out and then fold them up so that we never see the ad and we only see it when we start reading it.
Well, I can print it out and just hand it. If you guys are going to be the one to do it, then I will not tell you what I got.
No, because you're going to subliminally not pick certain ones. It's got to be completely blind. It's got to be double blind, baby.
You're fair. Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
It's got to be.
I would curate that.
Yep. It's got to be. We got to just do it and deal with the consequences.
I'll see if Aurora wants to do it.
We can try this out. I'm having ChatGPT write a fake ad read.
For what product?
I said, write me a gag ad read for our Airsoft podcast. Make it funny and satirical and make fun of airsofters.
Oh boy.
So,
narrator, are you tired of life?
Are you tired of real life? Sick of paying your taxes and obeying the law? Want to escape to a world where your biggest concern is whether your tactical vest matches your camo? Then you, my friend, are ready for the Airsoft podcast. Pew, pew.
Why is ChatGPT
sound effects?
Why is ChatGPT so spot on with that?
Join us every week as we discuss everything you need to know about plastic BBs and questionable decisions. From debating the best brand of tactical pants, spoiler, it's whatever your local Army surplus store has in your size, to discussing the ethics of using a sniper rifle in a CQB match. Because clearly nothing says honor like camping in a corner for 45 minutes to shoot someone in the back with your 600 FPS rifle. Whoosh.
Yo,
on the Airsoft podcast, we'll explore important topics like how to pretend you're a Navy SEAL despite your most advanced military training being a couple of Call of Duty rounds.
Holy shit.
How to get the most bang for your buck. And we're talking about BBs, not actual gunpowder, because we know you're not licensed for that.
Oh my God.
The most realistic gear to make you look like you're ready to storm a building, even if all you're storming is a Taco Bell drive-thru after a Saturday skirmish.
Holy shit.
Yo, ChatGPT
Tactical zipper
player base.
Tactical zipper followed by Dun dun dun. Don't worry, we've got you covered. We'll teach you how to sound like you know what you're talking about when you walk into a conversation at your local airsoft field. Like you'll totally impress that guy with the $2,000 custom-built rifle by saying things like, man, that hop-up was really dialed in. Pew, pew, pew. Gotcha. Tune into the Airsoft Podcast, where we talk about all things airsoft all the time. Because let's face it, no one else will. BB's pinging off plastic barrel. Okay, that was a bad one. Followed by a whistle as if from a referee blowing a whistle for a controversial call.
Oh, fuck yeah.
The Airsoft Podcast, because if you're not wearing a full face mask in public, are you really even living? Pew, pew. Warning, side effects of listening may include a sudden urge to buy more gear you'll never use, questionable tactical decisions, and inexplicable rants about BB weight in group chats. Listen at your own risk.
Oh, shit.
The fact that ChatGPT is like...
I watched it come up on your screen, and that was spot the fuck on.
Yeah, that's
I
fantastic.
have a follow-up question. Can you ask ChatGPT what it knows about Zulu 24?
Okay.
Oh, now I'm nervous.
Yeah, I want to know. Watch, it knows us by name.
Zulu 24 is a well-known name within the airsoft community.
Oh, shit.
Especially for those involved in the tactical and milsim, military simulation, side of the sport. While there isn't an exhaustive amount of public info available on every detail of the group, here are a few things that are commonly associated with Zulu 24's name. Oh, I can't say that. I was going to make a joke. Tactical and milsim focus. Zulu 24 is typically seen as a serious airsoft team or collective that leans heavily into the tactical and military simulation aspects of the sport. Their emphasis is not just on playing airsoft, but on trying to replicate real-world military operations using real-world tactics, formations, and strategies. It's not a team.
Yeah.
That theme.
Yeah.
Training and realism. The team's ethos usually revolves around improving real-life military skills. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's just bullshit now. Yeah. It's just You should have put a Zulu Airsoft Park or whatever, Zulu 24 Airsoft Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. What's the Zulu 24 code there at the bottom?
According to ChatGPT, there's the Zulu 24 code. As with many MILSIM teams, there's often an unwritten code or standard of behavior expected from Zulu 24 members. This could range from strict adherence to safety rules, like barrel socks and wearing full face protection, to maintaining a certain level of discipline. Even during casual skirmishes, the reputation for professionalism is key to their identity. In short, Zulu 24 is one of those teams/brands within Airsoft that blends serious tactical gameplay and a heavy dose of airsoft culture, focusing on your realism, gear, and strategy. It's part of the niche within Airsoft that really embraces the military simulation ethos. Yeah. And while they may take things a little more seriously than your average backyard Airsoft enthusiast, they're ultimately part of a larger community that loves the sport for its fun and camaraderie. And here it's talking about the underground boogaloo that's being trained here at Zulu by Commander Dave.
Yeah. But yeah, like Dave said, put a Zulu 24 Airsoft Park.
Yeah. It thought it was just a team.
It was kind of spot on with some things.
Yeah.
It says, Zulu 24 Airsoft Park. That's a different story.
Yeah, he's like,
let me tell you more about it. Oh, they talk about terrain and layout. It knows a lot about the field.
Yeah.
What is Dave's social security number? The
592.
field itself is designed to simulate a variety of combat environments, giving players a chance to experience different types of battles. The terrain includes dense woods, urban-style settings with abandoned buildings and structures, open fields, and even makeshift fortifications. This variety of environments allows for different types of gameplay, whether you're fighting in CQB or engaging in long-range firefights in the woods.
Shit, I should put this description on the website.
Yeah, maybe.
Kind of spot on.
We're getting to a point now with ChatGPT.
Put the Airsoft team description on the website so people get really confused.
We're getting to a point now with ChatGPT where we don't need to creatively think anymore.
Yeah, which is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing you need to know is how to input it. It's like being a professional Googler. You just have to know the inputs.
I can thankfully say that all of those AIs that are being promoted where they're going to edit your videos in 30 seconds, they don't fucking work.
How can they?
I've tried.
You have to have a sense of humor and timing and all sorts of things.
Oh my God. Write me a dope intro for the Zulu 24 Airsoft podcast.
Oh boy.
You just use the word dope?
Yeah. I wrote dope. Sound of a helicopter whirring overhead. Distant gunfire. Tactical radio chatter crackles in the background. The bomb has been planted. You're about to enter the world of tactical warfare, but with a twist. Now, it says in an intense, gritty voice.
Wow.
Yeah. Narrator, this isn't your grandma's garden variety paintball game. This is Zulu 24, where the battlefield is real, the stakes are high, and the gear is as tactical as it gets.
Weren't we talking about Stolen Valor earlier?
We were.
This whole thing is like,
ChatGPT is making it real hard.
welcome to hell.
All right, I'm going to tell...
Like ChatGPT is going to thank you for your service after this one.
This...
All right, last one, and then we're going to take a break.
Yes.
I don't want this whole episode to be us chat GBTing shit.
Yes. All right, so now I'm writing this in. I'm saying this, but less stolen valor. Let's see what it writes.
Okay.
Got it. Let's dial it back a bit to keep the tone fun and enthusiastic without sounding too serious or over the top. Sounds of BBs. So now we don't have helicopters and gunshots. We have sound of BBs popping, distant chatter over radios, and footsteps on gravel. Narrator, casual with a touch of excitement. All right, Airsoft fam, strap in. You've just found the most action-packed, no-nonsense, BB-loaded podcast on the airwaves.
Oh, shit.
Yes, but making fun of our player base at the same time.
This is great. No, we're taking a break. Stop with ChatGPT.
We'll take a break.
Once we're done, we'll come back and actually have conversation.
Oh, man.
Jeez
See what the live stream has to say. Okay, realistically, I'm a one-man shop, and I need more hands in the shop because I want to do more science, I want to develop more products, and I want to get more guns completed for more people. And if you are a complete noob to teching, but you're willing to learn and show up, and you like to hang out here at the field, email me at anthony@antechairsoft.com, and we will get you in as a apprentice. You'll learn how to tech like me over time because it is a skill you have to develop, but it'll involve being in the shop with me as I get work done. And I can't think of a better place to actually hands-on learn how to build the builds that I build. I have had apprentices, but they went on to do other things with their life, like actual jobs. They're not trying to do airsoft all the time. And I don't fault them for that. But if you want to do airsoft all the time and you want to be here to build the cool guns, develop things that don't exist already, and also be a part of the shenanigans that happen here at Zulu, it's another way to become a part of the Zulu fam. So yeah, send an email to anthony@antechairsoft.com. Just send me a resume, and then we'll do a grueling interview process where I critique your resume, and it's just going to show me how you take critique on an airsoft gun, and then that'll kind of help me base my feelings, so whether or not you should come in. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I need more hands. I'm trying to make Airsoft a team of techs and not just one dude that's way too busy for people.
So what's going on with Garantham, guys?
Oh, do we want to talk about that?
I don't know. I have no idea what we're getting into because I don't know.
Okay, so we'll give you the lore. His wife, now soon to be ex-wife, accidentally set a Facebook post to public when it was supposed to be private, where she acknowledged the fact that they are splitting up. And yeah, it was one of those, like, make sure you check your Facebook settings before you post something like that.
Why would you post it on Facebook?
Well, she has a private Facebook account that's for her friends and her family, and she was basically asking for advice because she's going through a hard time and she doesn't know how to handle a divorce.
She doesn't have their phone numbers?
It's our generation, man. Like,
yeah, but it makes me believe that she did that on purpose.
Potentially,
Yeah.
there's a potential there. The opposite end of this is, while we see it as like what it is, the immediate response of the internet trolls and Reddit started deep diving his account, started deep diving her account, looking for little clues and shit. Then 4 days ago, Micah announced that he is no longer going to be working for Garantham and he is moving on to do other things. And then Charlie announced that he is also going to be moving on from Garantham and he's going to be doing other things. All of this is happening relatively close to each other.
Are we witnessing a downfall?
We are witnessing a downfall because then Reddit started. There's another Instagram account that popped up like 2 days ago, which is like a "we're gonna flame Garantham" account. They somehow have his private DMs, and it's the DMs of him talking to multiple other women on the internet. I saw the screenshots. I don't think we should put the screenshots up. My opinion is it's not our business.
No, it's not.
But the Airsoft community looking up to Grantham is idolizing him for the last 3, 4, 5 years. So we are witnessing what would be considered a downfall of someone that is in a position of authority or mentorship in the community.
He's an influencer.
He's an influencer.
I saw his recent video, and one of the comments was, dad advice on this video is fucking wild.
Yeah.
Like, still putting dad advice is wild.
Yeah.
They're shitting on him hard.
So one thing I noticed, because I watched that video, the one that came out yesterday, the real guns of Black Ops 6, it felt weird. Because at one point in the video, you do hear him say, "Hey, Micah, what do you think?" And then the camera just cuts right there. Like, Micah was probably the one that filmed that video, but they removed any point of him actually speaking in the video. And then on top of that, like, he just seems very out of character, almost like there is a weird thing going on with him.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild because, like, I was about to build him a free gun because I actually really like what he was, like, standing for, I guess. Like,
Yeah, and
Like
he did
this-
say at one point in that video, too, like, people should take responsibility for their own actions, and the comments blew him up for that one, too.
yeah, it's tricky. It is sad, though, to see, like, a family go through stuff like that. And it's definitely harder being, I guess, a YouTube celebrity versus just being a normal dude that doesn't have a bunch of eyes on you.
Man, am I the only one that just watched Grantham's stuff simply for
I
the
just liked his
content
content.
and like didn't give a shit about what he does in his spare time? Like,
I liked
I
the
think
videos he made, and
he made guns interesting, right?
yeah,
And that's all he was for me. I didn't look at him. I might be too old. I didn't look at him like a father figure. I didn't look at him as a buddy. Like, he made shooting guns entertaining.
Yeah.
With the help of Charlie and Micah, right? I don't care.
I miss his old content with the black background.
He might start going back to that.
where he's like talking about how to set up your plate carrier.
yeah.
different
Well,
things,
it was
like-
informative content that
Yeah.
was entertaining.
That's what got
how
me
he
into
his
it.
Start,
Yeah.
but it is weird looking at it from this angle, where now you start to realize, like, when was the last time he did a video with Lucas? When was the last time he did a video with Mojo? When was the last time he did a video with any of, like, the Texas, like, gun tube community? Like, you haven't seen any of them come out and defend him or support him in this, and it's very weird.
Lucas Botkin would be the first one.
It's very
yeah.
weird. So I don't know what's going on there. I also don't necessarily care.
Yeah.
I like his videos, and I think the photos he posts on Instagram are pretty cool because he takes, like, the gray background photos of guns, and I like his setups. But it's very weird to see somebody that people idolize for the last 3 or 4 years go, like, on a sharp downturn.
Yeah. But you know who hasn't switched up?
Mojo
Brandon Herrera.
or Brandon Herrera or Demolition Ranch.
Yeah, Demolition Ranch. If there is a guy who I would trust is, like, actually who he is on camera in real life, it's probably Demolition Ranch.
Yeah.
Because
What if he's not?
imagine that.
What
right?
if he's
I don't know if he would be
His wife and kids are paid actors.
I don't know if he would be as successful as he is. Well, he had that whole thing too, I think that was like 8 or 10 months ago, where he came out and said he's like, my wife and kids are no longer going to be on these videos.
That's because
I saw that, yeah.
weirdos.
Yeah.
It's because people who idolize people on the internet.
Yeah,
Again,
it's a vicious cycle, and that's why I said, like, the Grantham subreddit right now. I went in there and looked last night because Evan sent me a link. Evan is, like, emotionally invested in this.
Hardy X said too much wisdom in one room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evan is emotionally invested in this, and I told him the same thing. I was like, it's not our fucking place. It's not our fucking business. And honestly, if we
But yeah,
don't-
we're still talking about
Yeah.
it right now.
and I was like, and I told
Hit
him
like
too,
and subscribe.
I was like, hey, look, if we got 12 months and no Grantham videos so he could save his marriage, sure, that's fine. One less gun tuber I have to worry about watching on a Sunday evening.
Yeah, I mean, what he has going on in his life is far less interesting than the fact that so many other YouTubers are making videos talking about it because so many people care that much.
Yeah.
And, like,
I
because
haven't even seen
I guess
those.
because I watch his videos, those videos would show up on my recommended. So I'm just like, I guess I'll watch it. And then everybody else is talking about it. It's Gav said it's faster to switch to your gun bunny than your own wife.
That's the #1 comment on his video from last night.
That's pretty funny. That's good.
wild.
That's clever.
He said, I still feel bad for Grantham and his family, and I'll miss his vids.
Oh,
he's
he's
still
not
gonna-
going. He's not going anywhere.
He's still going to make videos.
The internet has a collective memory of about 3 weeks. So give it 3 weeks. He'll make, just like Mr. Beast right now. They went through all that crazy shit, right? And I didn't even look into it. I just see it because it pops up on the feed. he's still making videos fucking every week. And every week his videos get 29, 30 million views in the first hour. So this will be the same thing, dude. Give it 3 weeks. Grantham will be back. He'll have a new editor and a new photographer, and that's just the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
There are so many people, even with this controversy, that would stand in line, for 4 days just to edit one of Grantham's videos or film.
On one hand there, I didn't even know something happened with Mr. Beast. But no, he has 3 editors. Micah was just the head editor.
Yeah. See, so he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. We'll all forget about it and forgive him, just like.
Yeah, just like I will say, if you haven't watched his video,
How has that list not come back
I
out
don't
yet?
know, man.
How has that list not come out? Why are people in jail? What has happened? Okay, sorry. Back to Peanut the Squirrel. Why are we caring about Peanut the Squirrel? Bigger issues out there.
Are we about to talk about
No.
No, I have to bleep that. No.
We'll just call it the list.
But yeah, when you're probably going to end up watching his video from yesterday at some point. It's like socially awkward. Like you can feel the tension in it.
Yeah.
It's
All
odd.
right. Moving on. That's internet gossip drama. So let's dive it.
Can we talk about our own gossip drama?
What do we got?
I got a good one.
Can we talk about drug dealer Evan memes?
No.
No, we
no, no, no.
Love you, Evan.
He's probably at work right now. No.
Okay. I feel like enough time has passed
Oh no.
that we can talk about this.
What are we talking about?
I know what we're talking about.
What are we talking about?
This is new charted territory.
Oh,
So I don't know about that.
But we're not going to say where it happened, right?
Okay, so yes.
We're just not going to say where it happened. We're not going to use the abbreviation. We're just going to say that there was a local indoor field where somebody got stitched up. Somebody got stabbed over what I believe.
It was over hit calling.
Over hit calling. Guys, Airsoft community, we need to chill the fuck out.
This happened 11 months ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So that's why I waited, because I didn't want to bring it up.
But for lore backstory, almost every single episode we sit down, Anthony's like, "Can we talk about it yet?"
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I know.
I have creative memes,
No.
ideas. In like Fallout, there's like unique versions of the weapons. Like there's combat knife, and then you find the unique one that has like a little bit more damage.
It's got a specific
Look,
logo on
I
it.
think
This guy's Pit Boy. If you look at his inventory, he's got this'll make him call their hits. And it's just it's the special combat knife.
I think we can all agree the reason why it's taken so long to talk about it is because it's not just another airsoft field like on the other side of the country. It's somewhere local,
Sure, it's local.
and it can be seen as like us slandering them when we're not.
And we don't. And that's actually a big point I want to hit on, is that we don't talk shit about other fields because we understand the struggles of other fields, right? We were small, just like everybody's small. We're still small. In my head, we're still small, right? We're still improving. We're still...
Yeah, Ballahack has way more followers.
They
have
do.
a billboard.
They're killing it.
You don't have a sniper in your swamp.
We don't have a swamp. So
We don't have a billboard.
yeah, right. So we never talk shit about other fields because running a field is fucking hard.
We're like one bad decision away from having something traumatic happening here. I'm not saying,
for sure.
like,
for sure.
not saying to that caliber of like somebody getting stabbed, but it's like you have one bad day with the wrong person at the wrong time, anything can go wrong.
Right. So this person gets stabbed because of call your hits, whatever. Kid probably went to jail. Bad news bears. The stabbing victim was okay. So I can see that the argument coming out of this is, and actually I saw the argument was like, why did he even have a knife at an airsoft field? What are your thoughts?
Well, for one, I carry a knife on my kit, but it's not like to be fair, the safety brief says no knife with a cutting surface over 6 inches, because you could have a reason to use a knife on the field, like cutting something that's on your gun. Like I've had multiple times where like I just need to trim something, or my safety brief chrono tag is like eating up my finger. You just trim it, have a multi-tool. Like it's normal to have a knife on your kit.
I've gotten out of being entangled in pricker bushes with my knife.
Yeah.
So it is helpful.
But you don't need a K-bar to cut your chrono tag. That's how you stab your friend's hand, and then I have to call your mom and say you need stitches at 9 a.m.
Now, if
I remember that.
if that guy didn't have a knife, he probably would have just used his airsoft gun as a blunt weapon and probably hit him with that. To me, the question is,
why did it get to that point?
well, yeah, what advice can we give about de-escalation, not just in airsoft, but just in real life?
Rule number 1. Well, specifically in airsoft.
Are you defending your wife and kids?
Well,
No.
we're getting a little over there.
Can you walk away? If the answer is yes,
So he was walking away. So the kid that and I'm
stabbed in the back.
no. I read a lot of the police reports that came out around this. The dude that did the stabbing was walking away, and there was a verbal altercation on the field with the victim at some point. That at the time, the victim came up behind him and went to like grab his shoulder and turn him around. At which point, the kid pulled the knife out and stabbed him. So
wait, after the guy who stabbed him was trying to walk away.
no, yes, the
This
guy
is pre-stabbing.
pre-stabbing.
He was walking away. The guy grabbed him in the shoulder, and then he turned around and
Yes.
yeah.
So the big picture here is there was already a verbal altercation on the field. So how could that have been de-escalated from a ref perspective? It's you separate both parties and you talk to them like a man and you explain to them like, hey, this shit can't happen here. We have to handle this like grown adults because we are adults. We're playing with toy guns, but you're still a dude and he's still a dude. We're grown up. We don't need to be fighting over this like we say in the safety brief. You don't need to get into a fist fight over toy guns in the woods. Your costume's pretty. Everybody's okay.
Or toy guns in an indoor.
Or toy guns.
Facility.
But I'm saying from a Zulu ref perspective, you can de-escalate that situation. Allowing both players to then be in close proximity of each other after a verbal altercation would not be ideal unless both people have become level-headed and are ready to settle it. Because we've had that happen on the field. I have had to, because it happens, people get into verbal altercations, they get into a yelling match over I hit you, you hit me, who hit each other. You separate them, you talk to them individually. When they're both level-headed, you bring them back together and be like, can we settle this like grown adults? And then they shake hands. They understand that they're just playing with toy guns in the woods and they go about their business. If you don't get to that point, them being in close proximity of each other can just brew exactly what happened.
I see also a failure on staff in this particular case as well. That incident leading up to the stabbing, any ref worth his salt should have been able to see that coming.
Yes.
Right? It's very easy and clear when you have two groups or two parties, or maybe it's just one party that just happens to be causing all the problems that day. We keep an eye on those people, right?
Yeah.
And so it should have never gotten to the point where the victim put his hand on the other one to turn him around.
Yes.
Right? The ref should have been right there like, hey, you guys are fucking done. Like, you
Yeah.
need to knock it off, cool it, whatever. It should have been taken care of maybe hours before. This could also be a situation, we don't know. This could be another situation where the game was going on, they had a verbal argument, they were walking off, that's when it happened. So it happened very quickly.
Yeah, it probably did.
So maybe there were no signs. Maybe it was just like they were playing and then...
Whenever I saw
We're Monday morning quarterback.
Oh, yeah. We are...
when I was reffing and whenever I saw two players get into a disagreement or whenever I saw that happening, I didn't see it as this guy's just upset that this guy, whatever, right? I always interpreted it as the beginning of an escalation to something that could be way worse, and there has to be as much physical space between these people as possible.
Sure, and time.
And time.
You can't resolve anything.
But the physical space is super important. They have to be separated. They can't be within an arm's reach.
Realistically, they can't be within airsoft gun reach, right? Because there's this stupid ego-driven trend where people who suffer from low T, they get pissed off and then they put their gun in full auto and just start blasting, and that's what super low T human beings do, who don't know how to use their words or their fists.
Yeah, we had to stop a group from doing that over the summer.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't even get to play.
Yeah, they didn't get to that point, but we had.
That was fun. I actually had a good time.
Do we want to talk about that day?
Oh, we can.
Now,
let's finish up this thought.
Here's my question, right? If you're a player at the field, you're not staff, right? You're playing here, and there happens to be an aggressive human being.
Walk away.
Right.
No, there's something else you could do.
Well, and there's an aggressive human being, and they are getting on your ass because maybe they think you didn't call your hits, or maybe they think that you overshot them, and they're taking it upon themselves to close distance with you, to argue with you about it. You don't know. Maybe they're making verbal threats. To me, it's like if they're trying to close the distance to have a verbal altercation, like even if it's just to say, fuck you, this is how I feel, and I'm going to walk away. If somebody's trying to close the distance to do that, to me, as somebody who would be in the situation where that person's walking up to me, I'm just like, I'm going to create physical space. I'm not going to argue. I don't want to reason with this person.
I could tell you what 23-year-old Dave would do, and I can tell you what I would do now. 23-year-old Dave, if I saw 1 ounce of aggression and you were coming towards me, I would sprint towards you. I would outmatch your aggression.
Diss tracks.
Like
23-year-old Dave would stab.
no, yeah, I would stand. No, I would make eye contact with you, and if you thought you were going to be tough or whatever the fuck, I'd sprint at you. It's like, oh,
But,
you think?
but they don't see your eye contact because you have a tinted dye mask.
No. I was playing. I was paintball back then. But that's a stupid ego overreaction. Fucking immature. That's immature, Dave. Now, if I have, first off, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm going to do the one thing that like never works in any situation. I'm going to tell a person to calm down, like, hey, relax, man. And I usually put a smile on my face. Hey, relax, right? If that doesn't work, dude, if I'm a player, I'm getting staff. I'm getting staff right now. There's no reason. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight here. If you want to meet me out on Cantine Field, we can settle it there, but not here, And my family's not present. My kids aren't present. I'm not defending anybody.
Yeah.
Unless you somehow ambush me and all of a sudden you're on top of me, yeah, then I'm gonna take care of business. But at that point, dude, I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna go get a member of staff. Hey, man, this guy's yelling at me. And hopefully by the time that dude has done his Michael Myers walk, his tough guy walk towards me, he's probably not even mad anymore, and then it gets settled. But ego is the number one thing. Ego. Put your fucking ego away. Right? Like that's the big thing, dude. Nobody's out here. We're not prize fighters out here. Honestly, nobody knows how to fight. So, like,
Maybe Sean.
People that
Sean
know
knows how to wrestle.
people that know how to fight are not starting fights.
They're the coolest heads.
People that can finish fights don't start fights.
No, and they also don't.
Yeah.
They don't provoke them.
You know what's funny? Before I got my carry permit, I was much more likely to engage in some type of verbal altercation with somebody. Before I carried.
I hate people in general.
Before I carried, if somebody yelled at me on the road, I'd be like, well, fuck you too. I was New Yorker, right? My Italian in me. Now it's just like, if I get any glimpse of a hunch that somebody is gonna even give me a stank eye on the road or try to make eye contact and be aggressive, I'm just gonna avoid this person.
Yeah.
Because I understand that like there's laws to using deadly force, and I understand that I will try to avoid any conflict at all times and de-escalate it, because I understand if somebody was mad enough because maybe they thought I cut them off in traffic to the point where they would get out of their car with a gun, and we've seen videos like that.
Yeah.
I know what I would do in response to that, and that is the last thing I ever want to happen.
Sure. And,
And
you can easily just not put yourself in that situation.
Yeah,
I watched one video that changed any sort of bravado I ever thought I had, right? It's a garage cam footage. It's in Pennsylvania, wintertime. And the neighbors across the street from each other are arguing about snow.
I know exactly.
I know that video. Yep.
Yeah.
They're arguing about snow.
So it's right before Christmas.
So it's a husband and wife on one side and then the neighbor on the other side. And they're arguing about where they're shoveling the fucking snow, the shit that's going to melt in 4 hours. And they're like, oh, yeah? And then the guy across the street goes inside, comes out 15 and fucking kills them both. And then goes inside.
But before he killed them, he's aiming it at them. They're like, yeah, really? You're going to fucking shoot me? You're going to shoot me? And like,
that shit is wild. If
everybody
one person,
did everything wrong for that entire.
Yeah. If one person would have taken a step back and put their ego down and just been like, you know what, man, it's snow. It's not worth it.
And then he went inside and
yeah,
all over snow.
All over snow. And he was just like, you should have kept your mouth shut as he's killing him. And I watched that video and I was just like, holy shit. Like I don't want that, man.
There's
I don't
no
want
point.
that.
Yeah,
Nobody wants that.
The truth is, it's like, and I think the reason why we've avoided talking about this is because Airsoft gets such a bad rap all the time.
Yeah,
It does.
And people don't know how to diagnose people's behaviors and why they do that. So we don't want to talk about that, like a stabbing happening during an Airsoft game, and people be like, oh, well, it's Airsoft. We have to ban Airsoft more. The truth is that guy was probably close to stabbing somebody, whether if it was at the Airsoft field or it was at a grocery store where he had a disagreement with somebody. There's people like that.
Be at an Airsoft game.
People like that exist in society. We live in a society. People like that exist.
Yeah.
And
it's egos, man. It's bruised egos. And, it's silly. It's fucking silliness. But
it's disappointing.
Main takeaway here is if you have a problem in the field, go see a member of staff. If the staff member can't handle it, I sure the fuck can. Okay? So,
I mean, again,
make
prime
physical
example,
space.
That shit that happened over the summer.
yeah.
What's that?
That shit that happened over the summer. It got handled so fast. The kids.
Oh, they didn't even get to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, a group of kids, brand new. I mean, we know everybody that comes here, brand new, and just they just weren't putting off good vibes, man.
No.
And they were dicking around during the. Actually, let me rewind.
The age thing.
No, even before that. So,
Oh yeah.
we're checking in waivers, and the kid gave a name. It was a very common name, easily spellable name, and Kevin typed it in, but he spelled it so fucking weird. He spelled it so weird, like nobody would ever spell it this way. And so he read it back to the kid the fucked up spelling that he said, and the kid was just like, "Oh, I don't know." And I looked at Kevin. I was like, "Nobody spells that name that way." And also, what's your fucking name?
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, "How do you spell your name?" And he goes, "I don't know." I was like, "You don't know how to spell your own name?" I was like, "You realize how ridiculous that sounds? Are you trying to give me a fake name right now? What's your name?" So then it turns out he was given a fake name.
Yep.
Well, now he's with two other buddies. Okay, so now I'm looking at their fucking fake names. I'm not saying anything. I'm like, all right. And then I have him call her. They were like, "Oh, it's his nickname or whatever the fuck." I was like, "That's stupid. This could be a legal. This could be a
it's
legal
document.
Legal document at some point. If you get hurt, this could end up being a legal document." So I have him call his mom, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I was like, "Yeah, but you realize that's really weird."
Yeah.
It's like, that's really, really weird. And then the whole time during the safety brief, they were just fucking around. And we have a policy. If you're dicking around during the safety brief video, you have to watch it again. And I'm watching, and I think I don't remember who was working, but it doesn't matter.
I think it was Nick.
Sure. He saw that they were dicking around.
Yeah.
So when the video ended, he's like, "Hey, I'm going to have to make you guys watch it again," which happens very rarely. Usually people just stand there and watch the video. It's 8.5 minutes long.
Yeah.
And the reaction that they gave was just like, "Oh, God, I got to watch this video.
Bruh.
Oh, yeah, bruh.
Bruh.
Kidding me.
Bro, give me some more green gas." It's like that the South Park episode. One of the kids, you guys may not have seen this movie. It was called Kids, and it was about these degenerate kids in New York City. But one of the kids looked just like a character from that movie. His name was Casper, and he looked just like. So in my head, it was just Casper. But so they're like, "Oh, bro," and I saw the way they reacted, and I was just like, "Nah, that's it, dude." So I was like, "Hey, this is the first time I've ever had to do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm enacting my right as a business owner to refuse service, and I'm refusing you 3 service." And that was it. Boom, that switch got flipped, and the fucking true degeneracy of these fucking kids came out. And they were awful. It was the best decision I made that day. Fuck, man, they would have been such a problem. They were like, "Man, fuck you," like instantly 0 to 1,000 instantly. And then it turns out like,
Well, just to hold up 1 second there, you did give them all a refund.
absolutely.
Yes.
No. Yeah,
Gotta make that clear.
Yeah, I'm not trying to take anybody's money. We gave them all refunds. There was a little hiccup because the kid was using an Apple Card, and I guess Apple Cards change numbers every once in a while. But everybody's got their money back. Anybody who paid cash certainly got their money back. Both the kids who paid card absolutely have their money back. And they were like, "Oh, you're stereotyping us," and I was like, "Profiling is the word you were looking for." But yeah.
You mean you think we're going to be shitty players because we're wearing big rigs with dime masks with HPA Mark 18s with the stubby M16 stock, and we're coming here with the bad attitude and we're drinking Red Bulls right now?
Yes.
Fuck you.
Dude, they were like grabbing their balls and being like, "Fuck you, we're not milsim enough." I was like, "Shut up." I was like, "Guys," and so like, I'm calm, cool, collected. That doesn't bother me. So every time when they were walking away, they're like, "Fuck this place, fuck you." I was like, "All right, drive safe, guys." Like,
Yeah, so-
which made them even more mad, and they just showed their ass.
And turns out they were banned at a bunch of other fields.
Yes, because I was like, "Hey, dude, there's another place right down the road. You can go there." And one of them was like, "We can't. We're banned." And I was like, "Finish that sentence."
Yeah.
Finish that sentence.
Yeah.
He goes, "We're banned." I said, "I wonder why."
Yeah.
I was like, "You guys are jumping around here like idiots."
And I had like 2 different customers at that time come in the shop because it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
And they were warning me of this. I was like, "Oh, you got to be fucking kidding me." And then Barbara is calling me going, "You're not going to believe what's going on." I was like, "Let me guess. It's what these 2 customers just told me." And as I look, I'm getting ready to go play. There's these 3 fucking chuckleheads standing in front of my shop, full autoing their M4s into the open field and at the tree with mags in their guns. And I have to run out there and yell at them. They're like, "What are you going to do? Kick us out? We already got kicked out." I was like, "I wonder why." Like,
It's like, no, now I'm going to call the cops.
Oh yeah, no, I literally said, I was like, I told all the staff right in front of them, I was like, "If they do anything, I'm calling cops. I don't
Yeah.
care. Like, I'm not fucking around with this."
I didn't
Like,
hear that part because they immediately walked over here, no iPro on, just started full autoing everything around. And there were people sitting out here.
Yeah.
Like just normal players. Some
That
rentals.
that is fatherless behavior,
Dude.
They've never been beat.
Well,
like
the poor mom, right? The poor mom came in here, and she was like, "I'm so sorry. They do this all the time." And when she was like smacking them as they were getting into the car, and she was like, "Again, this happened again." And I was like, "Yeah, that tracks." I was like, "What the fuck, man? What the fuck?" All they had to do, A, give their real names, because it turns out all three of them gave me bullshit names. And just play. Watch a safety brief and play. That's all they had to do. And they couldn't do that. They couldn't make it past step one. They couldn't make it past, give me your fucking name.
You want to talk about the kid that stole something in here? And how
That's great.
How he waited in the car and while his dad played, because his dad was like, "Oh yeah, Mike, he fucking stole. Yeah, he's waiting in the fucking car. I'm playing."
Oh, that's right. That
So
was the anniversary.
Yeah. So actually, it was one of these chest rigs that's behind Dave and Anthony. It happened on a Saturday, and Sunday morning, JT and I were doing inventory, and I'm looking. I'm like, we have the H harness and the extenders. Where's the placard on this? I was like, JT, did we sell just a placard? And he's like, no. So I go back and watch the security camera footage. The day before, the kid comes in, gets an HPA tank fill. While the person's filling his tank, he turns around, tries the chest rig on, and gets handed his tank back, bends down, puts his tank in the bag, still wearing the chest rig, rips the placard off, puts it in his backpack, and then walks out. And I'm like, well, shit, I'm not cool with this. And this was like New Year's Eve, because I remember sitting there like watching all the footage back. And found out who the kid was, because there's security cameras inside and outside of this building. And then proceeded to look, and he played here like every weekend or every other weekend, and he had a very distinct set of eye pro. And I was like, cool, find me this kid. And I started spreading it around privately to certain people. I was like, you need to find me this kid's name. And no one could, but I was like, Zulu anniversary game's coming up. He's probably going to be here for that. So I call New Windsor PD, and I open up a investigation case into it. I'm like, hey, look, I need to report a theft. And they come in. They came in on a Friday. We filled out all the paperwork. I told them exactly what happened. I showed them the security camera footage. They're like, cool. Next time he's here, give us a call and we'll handle it. I was like, okay, cool. Anniversary game last year was wild. There was like 450 players.
Yeah.
I tried to get out of here to go up on the field and take some photos. And as I'm walking up the field, like up the ramp going through CQB, I see his eye pro. And I'm like, huh. There's that fucking kid. And Ronnie comes running up to me, and he's just like, Jordan. He's like, that kid? And I was like, yep, he's right there. I was like, yeah, I need to call New Windsor PD. And at the same time, you were calling me because there was an issue going on down here. And I was like, Ronnie, don't lose this fucking kid. I was like, I got to go take care of an emergency right now. And I'm running down off the field, call New Windsor PD. And they're like, okay, we'll have an officer come out, handle this, go back out there. I was like, Ronnie, where's that kid? He's like, I lost him. I was like, fuck, where? And so I start going around to all of our regular customers that know what happened. And I was like, find me this kid. Somebody find him. Tell me where he is. And we're all looking around. And this kid, Jake, honestly, great kid. He's actually in Hawaii right now. He comes running up to me. He's like, Jordan, I found him. He's over on the other side of the metal carports. He's parked over there. I was like, awesome. Great. New Windsor PD car comes rolling up. I was like, this is perfect. I see the officer come out. That officer and I actually have some history. He was my summer camp counselor. Very funny, very small town. But I walk over to talk to him. I walk over to the kids, and I was like, hey, guys, you want a special prize? It's a Zulu anniversary game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I was like, you guys want a special prize? It's a Zulu anniversary game. They're like, really? And I was like, yeah, you have to come up to the front counter to claim your prize. And they're like, okay, great. And they walk right over to the New Windsor PD officer with me, and they're like, fuck. And this is where, like, come on. I look at him, and I was like, do you guys know why we're here? And he looked at me in the eyes and goes, we didn't steal anything. And I was like, I didn't even fucking say that.
Yeah. How'd you know that?
How'd you know what I was going to say? And he's just like, we didn't steal anything. I was like, well, your friend is wearing the chest rig that you stole right now. So yes, you did. And it's like, they have the footage. We have your faces. And at this moment, that's where the kid's dad walked over. I did not realize that was his dad. And I also did not realize that he always played here with them. I actually liked his dad.
Yeah.
Cool dude.
Yeah.
And he asked me what's going on. I explained everything to him, and he just gets pissed. I was like, so here's how this goes. I was like, you're going to come over to the shop. You're going to pay for the chest rig. You're going to get to keep the chest rig. And you're going to go home. You're going to sign this paperwork that says you are never allowed back here. I was like, or this nice officer is going to take you to jail.
Yeah.
Because in New York State, anything over like $100 worth of theft is arrestable. You'll get let out on Governor Hochul's bail reform, but you can be arrested.
Back on the streets to
back on the
steal
street.
another chest rig.
And that was when I found out he was under 18. And I was like, this is going to get very interesting very quickly. So we come over here. They pay for it. The kid had his own credit card. Like, why? You could have paid for it in the beginning. If you wanted it, you could have paid for it. Paid for it and then signed the paperwork. It's like the notice of trespassing. So if they ever come back, I can immediately call New Windsor PD and they'll be arrested for trespassing. But I had a conversation with the dad. I was like, this is kind of fucked. You came here to play. It's the Zulu anniversary day. This is supposed to be a fun day for everyone. I was like, so if you want, I was like, they have to stay in the car. They are not allowed to be out of that car today. But it's only 12 o'clock. You can play the rest of the day and then go home. And he's just like, okay. And I have photos of the dad playing the last game of the day at like 3:45.
He had a blast.
He had a great time.
Dude, if that was my son, I would like stay after hours.
Yeah.
And, like hang out with everybody.
I don't want to like dox them. They had jersey plates.
Yeah.
So that was at least an hour drive home. I would have loved it.
Must have been a fun ride home.
But I did tell the dad, I was like, hey, look, I'm really mad right now, but I also know he's probably not a bad kid. Ask me in a year. Maybe he can come back in a year. I was like, but we're going to be watching him like a hawk. I was like, but this is at least a year of you are not allowed to be here. And we'll see. We're coming up on that year mark. So maybe he tries to come back.
You know what's crazy, dude? And I'm always impressed by this. Like, the internet always wins, right? But we very rarely have things genuinely stolen here, right? It's very rarely. And actually, I can only think of like 3, 2 of which were in the shop.
And then one was Connor's right? PTW.
Yeah. But what's crazy is that like when Connor's PTW was legitimately stolen out of the back of his car, thankfully criminals are morons.
We knew where the gun was within 6 hours.
Yeah, like they took pictures with it. And we're just like, oh, we out here, like so fucking stupid. If you're gonna if you're gonna do crime, be good at it. Like,
you want to describe what they did to his Sistema?
So Connor, this is one of those that was 100% another moment of crime of opportunity. It was rental players that were here.
Yeah.
Connor was parked right next to the shop, and he had the truck bed of his truck open and his PTW sitting on it. My car, which also had a PTW in it, was parked right next to him, unlocked, but the hatch was closed. They literally saw Connor's gun and went, oh, that looks cool, and they fucking took it.
They just took it. They had no idea what they took.
He had a North American PTW with a real PEC 15, real hollow sun, real Surefire light, mod buttons, the whole 9. Like, it was like a $4,000 gun build. And then they proceeded to paint it with finger paint.
It was like shoe polish or something.
Yeah, so the whole thing is that they went to the local high school. Some players that play here had them on Snapchat. They posted a photo of them on Snapchat with Connor's PTW in the back seat of the car they came in. And they're like, hey, Jordan, is this his gun? I'm like, yep, that is his PTW. Who is this fucking kid? And then they proceeded to deep dive, find his Instagram. The kid had an Instagram page where he custom painted Vans shoes. So he used the same paint that he painted the shoes with to paint Connor's PTW. And it was like a fucking 1/8 inch thick layer of paint. They cut one of the wires for his dual switch buttons. They took his Ferro Concept sling off and put on some like fucking sling bag, like bullshit 99-cent sling. It was bad. But we were able to track down the kid's name through the waiver system. Then we passed that off to New Windsor PD. The kid lived in Newburgh. Newburgh PD found out the kid whose name we had, actually, it wasn't him that stole it. It was his friend. They went to his house, retrieved the PTW.
But it was crazy. Like the internet found it instantly. So
like within 6 hours.
Like if our cameras don't catch you, like the internet will.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're like,
yeah,
oh, check out this thing I just got magically.
Because there was a solid 2 hours where Connor thought we were pranking him.
Yeah,
because we used to do shit like that to each other. He's just like, guys, like, where's my gun?
No, Zulu pranks don't end well, man.
But yeah, like leading up to that, this is my second pair of Oakley Alphas because the guys hid my Oakleys in the freezer for 3 days and I couldn't find them. Legitimately to the point where I was like, that's it, I'm buying another pair of Oakleys. And somebody texted me, they're like, did Dom not tell you that he put your Oakleys in the freezer in the shop? I was like, you fucking what? And I drove all the way here, was like, there's my Oakleys. I'm glad I just bought another pair.
Yeah, Zulu pranks usually don't end well. I will say though, as far as like the theft, you got to give kudos to the airsoft community for being very
on top,
supportive, and on top of handling that shit.
Yeah, they're also 99.999% just honest people, right?
Yeah,
and we tell people all the time because people come up to us every weekend like, oh, somebody stole this, and we're like, okay, maybe that happened, or maybe you misplaced it. And 99.99% of the time, they're like, "Oh, I found it. It was in the trunk of my car. I don't always put it in the trunk of my car."
Well, there's fields where that's not the case. There's some fields.
I've had that happen.
Yeah, I've asked about certain fields, and people who've played there have been like, "Oh, if you go there, like lock everything up," because I went there, I got this and that stolen after just one game, and then
we have pretty good.
Did another game, came back, and this and that was stolen.
We have pretty good camera coverage out at staging. We have good camera coverage here.
Then I went to my car, and my wheels were gone, and it was on cinder blocks.
Inverter wasn't there. I mean, like we've created an atmosphere where, like, prime example, Adrian, he just leaves the stuff he's selling out on the table.
Yeah.
And he's okay with it because he knows it's safe there.
I think people are convinced that he was a British sniper, and they just don't want to fuck with him.
That's not a bad assessment.
He's so good.
Theory.
He's also such a nice guy.
I know. But yeah, dude, I don't think 99% of the time you just lost your shit.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
I do the same shit. I always swear that if I lose a tool or if I misplace a tool, I'm just like, Jordan, what the fuck? Where are my needle nose pliers? Because occasionally Jordan will forget to put something back, in which case I'll find it on the counter in here and it's there.
Yeah. But there was like one, I still don't know who did this to you. You went ballistic for like a week going, where are these pliers? I have no idea where they went. I'm like, dude, I did not touch those. I would never even use that set of pliers. I don't know what you're talking about. And you were adamant. You're like, you used them, you misplaced them. I'm reffing the following Saturday, and a player is just like, hey, can I borrow this tool? I was like, let's see if that's even in the player tool bin. And I open it up. I'm like, this is far too shiny and far too new to be in here. Wait a minute. And I take a photo and send it to you. I was like, hey, are these yours? You're like, yes, where'd you find them? I'm like, I don't know how they ended up in the player tools, man. No idea.
That was somebody fucking with me.
That was somebody messing with you.
There's no way. But yeah, the airsoft, even like when stores, like, I feel like there's this trend with airsoft stores where they get fucking broken into and ransacked, right?
We've had two this year that we know of. Amp got
happened to Amp, happened to Umbrella.
Yep.
There's another one.
There was a trend where Fox Airsoft got broken into like every 6 months.
Well, I don't know. That's a little.
Well, I used to work with Fox.
Rhymes with some insurance. But like even then, usually the store will put up a GoFundMe or they'll do something, and
Umbrella got backed real hard with that.
I sent them money, like
American Milsim did too. Like you can see who publicly donated on GoFundMe, and I was going down the road.
Airsofters are so quick to give that support. Even Mancraft, they're in Poland. They had a terrible flood, and they're recouping. So like you have local airsoft, like you have other airsoft tech businesses
helping
that they're just like, hey, you know, whatever percentage of the things I sell, right, it's going to go to Mancraft to help them rebuild.
Yeah.
You know, which is like, they don't have to do that.
No, it's just the airsoft community, like being good people.
Yeah. So it's cool. It warms my heart.
It warms my heart.
You know, so like when you see the stabbing,
fuck.
You're gonna censor that. The five people watching the live stream probably already know, so you could bleep it out.
Stupid.
Sorry, but when you talk about the stabbing at that airsoft field, do know that most airsofters are real ones.
Just regular people. Just regular people. That's it. Regular people, no egos, whatever.
You know who else were regular people?
Martians.
Police Battalion 101.
All right. Listen, how long is this episode?
This episode's about an hour and 45 minutes.
I feel like it's a good stopping point. We'll pick up again next Monday.
No, I'm not going to be back yet.
You're a turd. Next Tuesday.
We could do that.
See you next Tuesday, Jordan.
See you next Tuesday, Jordan.
Yeah, I did not know what time I'm getting back, but now Tom texted me while we were in the middle of this. And he's like, hey.
Josh said I knew it was going to happen eventually from Anthony.
No, but Tom texted me. We now have an Airbnb for Sunday night, so I'm probably not going to be back home till Monday afternoon, Monday evening.
All right. All right. Thank you, guys and gals, for joining us for another edition of Zulu 24 podcast. This was a podcast.
This was a podcast.
This was a podcast.
By RGK Airsoft
Remember, vote for us.
RGK Airsoft Awards.
Hey, is that still up?
It's still up. I have the short already ready to go. I'm going to post it when we're done with this.
Vote. Get out and vote.
Yes, sir.
Get out and vote. Your vote matters.
For this, it actually does.
All right. With that, good night. God bless. We're out.